I have water.
I have hot water too. I like to be prepared.
Oh, look at you.
I'm indicating that by not having hot chocolate.
Your toilet's not plugged up today, right?
No, it is not.
John, I
Thankfully.
want to make sure
My
of
boat was,
something. I
but
want to make sure of something.
okay.
That you see the cover art for today's podcast.
Oh no! Oh, Polly. Oh, Polly.
Which
I want to make very sure that I'm clear.
you're under Polyhead still, right?
Yep.
That's the new one. Okay. You think I would remember?
You
Polly,
think?
Polly, you have no idea how much fate this boy has consumed.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
No,
I bet I.
you
I
really
bet I have.
don't.
I bet I do. I bet I do.
Did he say?
I'm open about it.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
All of it. All the fate.
I'm really taking my headphones off this time, just so you know.
I wasn't even necessarily like. I just kind of wanted to bring up seeing the movie in theaters. I thought that was really fun.
Okay, that one is fine.
Okay.
It's some of that other stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, John, Polly's gonna disown you for real this time.
I know what else he watched.
I told him not to.
He did anyway.
What did you tell me not? Oh, did you say not to watch it or not to? Oh, whatever.
Because
Doesn't
it's
matter.
Really
Well, I said not to watch, and then I was like, well, definitely don't tell nobody. Oh my god, you fool. He already told people.
I
I
don't
said, is
know.
the scene with the thing and the thing in it? And he says, yep. And I said, yeah, that's where I dropped.
It's like, okay, in honor of St. Patty's, I have two questions. Number one, which of our three hosts is the most Irish? And two, favorite Irish character in a video game? Okay, the answer to one is I don't know my heritage. And number two, I'm sure there are Irish characters in Dragon Quest VIII. So all of the Irish characters in Dragon Quest VIII.
Cool.
I was like, it has to be a JRPG character for some reason. Because unless, like, Aloy has red hair in Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's a good point, yeah.
Maybe
Does she have the accent, though?
No, I don't think
she's
so.
Not,
She's
not
super
Irish.
American.
Yeah.
It's like, it's thousands of years in the future, and they've all got really good American accents.
Oh, it just like kind of all just worked out the kinks of being able to talk like normal human beings.
I guess. I might be like 5% Irish or something. I'm the generic European mix.
I think I'm
leaning
mostly
urban.
Italian.
I'm mostly English and German, as I understand it.
So it might be me, but with like a super small percentage. Could be John Ireland is next to England.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Either way, we're talking like 5% at most on any of us, it seems. So whatever.
Note, virus returns. Come to lurk in my chat again during my podcast. That is I love that Arcus lurk emote. It's so good. I like the I ate your pie lurk is too. Let's see. This one's real good.
So John won't like my Twitter posts anymore.
Oh, he won't? Why?
No, I'm going to. I just wanted
Because
to.
his aunt is on their Twitter now.
No, I changed my mind. I was like, no, fuck it.
Oh,
Yeah.
your aunt. Is it the aunt that got mad at me on Facebook?
Oh, no.
No, I don't think so.
Because there was somebody in your family got real mad at me because it was back during the flooding when some big church guy wouldn't let people into the church, to have shelter. And I said something about, wow, look at this smarmy cunt. And like all of a sudden I get a message from one of John Thayer's relatives that's like, take this off of Facebook right now.
Holy shit.
It's like, what? John, I told you about this.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember who it was. I think it's like some distant relative on Dad's side.
Yeah, it was just real funny because I was like, who the fuck are you? And I wasn't going to fire back because I didn't know if it was like an immediate relative or somebody John liked. But so I just left it hanging. It was like, whatever.
Oh, that's
it's not
funny.
going.
It worked out okay.
It's fine.
To finish that thought, John won't like my post, but he will talk about watching magical girl shows.
Yeah, magical girl shows, they're very questionable in content.
I didn't even bring it up. Y'all two brought it up, just to be clear.
Oh, clearly I was talking about Flip Flappers, which is also super problematic. It just doesn't
It's much
lean
worse.
into it right at the start.
Flip Flappers is much worse, for the record.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I mean, just...
Okay, some of the stuff in this dumb Ilya thing that I know you're talking about, I've read about it, and I know it's pretty fucking gross.
It's real gross, yeah. It's awful. It's the worst. I just
And you
hate Flip
watched
Flappers more.
all of it.
The story parts are real good. I don't want to know what to tell y'all. I read it for the articles.
Okay, the heel turn for me was like when you're like, oh, Nanaha got me able to watch anime again. And then like in DM, I watched 3 seasons of Ilya. And I was like, fucking what? How? Literally how?
4 now. And a movie.
I know, but this was way through that. The fact that you had binged it so hard in like what seemed like 2 days.
Story parts are really good.
Okay,
really good.
but like just the speed at which you consumed it was alarming to me. Like sometimes when you go on media binge, I literally don't know how because I can't do anything for like more than 2 hours at a time.
The seasons are only like 10 eps. So
Yeah.
like even
Still,
less than 13.
30 episodes is a lot.
I mean, it was 42 in a movie, and then 2 more movies.
And then the triple feature.
It was a good week.
I have no faith in either of my podcast hosts.
What did I do?
I don't anymore. Why do I do this?
What did I do? I
I'm
keep
sure.
getting dunked on by you and Chelsea. When John is right there.
Holy shit! The fourth. If you stick with it though, the 4th season is really good.
I'm sure.
It's so good.
That's just like what I tell people. That's like when I recommend Final Fantasy 13 to people. I tell them, "Oh, come on! After 25 hours, it's totally good." Which
You've really got to play the first 2 games to get to the really good one.
Which that's not what I would tell people though, because I think that game's actually solid. So whatever. But that won't be a topic for this podcast.
It won't.
No, I've got I have 2 other things to talk about. I have one that I'm gonna make people
you've got
really
2
mad
things,
about.
Huh?
And then one, it'll be a recommendation that nobody will take. So.
Okay, I forgot my 4th thing.
Oh my god!
I'll
I brought
try
2 things to this party.
Look, I know how to go quick on things that don't warrant a ton of discussion.
He does know how to go quick, let me tell you folks. Welcome to Sockscast episode 92! How's everybody out there in Interland? We are the Sockscast, brought to you as always by Moon Pies. Moon Pie, it's like someone just had an orgasm inside your mouth. How about that?
It's a good one.
That's a good one. I think that's
Very descriptive.
very descriptive. It gets
But
the
not
point
gendered.
across. Exactly, it's not gendered at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
I
we
know
can
it was
probably
red, just to be clear.
pass that one along to Moon Pie, and I think that's how we're getting our endorsement, right?
Email to corporate.moonpie.biz.
Let's get them going. Let's get them going, folks. Everybody out there in internet land, let them know. The Sockscast wants to talk numbers. We want to do business.
We want to talk orgasming in your mouth.
Exactly. To my immediate virtual right, he's long, he's strong, and he's down to get the friction on. It's Rhett.
Hi.
How's it going?
Your intros always throw me every single week. Like, I think, for some reason, I'm like, oh, she's going to do something relevant to what I'm going to talk about. Nope.
That's never the case.
Non sequitur.
I just off the cuff them, Rhett. I don't think about these things. How's it going, Rhett? You ready to have a...
It's going real good.
Going real good. Like you just had an orgasm in someone's mouth.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's
Very
like
fast,
that.
to be clear.
It's exactly
So
like
quick.
that.
I wish.
Oh, quick on the draw, Red.
To my immediate virtual left, he's a fake hedgehog. It's John Thayer.
Hi.
Hey. You're a fake hedgehog.
Okay. I thought
Baker.
you were gonna ask how I was doing. It's fine.
Well, I'm going to ask how you're doing, but usually
Okay.
you'd see we do a bit first, and then,
Okay.
hey, how's it going?
I'm a faker.
Almost been 100 episodes. More than that when you count spoiler casts and Game of the Year episodes, and this motherfucker still is
wow,
not with
right.
the program.
God,
He'll-
that's high. That's
He'll
not
make
even
you
much.
eat those words.
And they'll taste
Just
like
like
somebody
Jake,
had an
man.
orgasm in your mouth.
Oh my god.
See, it's comedy and repetition. That's how we function
Exactly.
around here. You know, you just,
John's words are usually a little sticky and covered in stuff.
yeah, you kind of just like want to kind of
Everything that comes out of his mouth is...
wipe them away with a
Yeah.
napkin. You don't really want any
Gobble
skin
'em up.
contact here.
You want them in your ears, deep up in there.
Just all the
Oh
way.
no.
As deep as you can go. It's like ear canals are made for fucking
Just
now.
let him slide it in your ear. It'll be fine.
Just slide it all up in there. That brings a new definition to wet willy.
Yeah. Let my words. I said worms instead of words.
No, that's what we were all thinking.
That's
With
what
that
we were
metaphor.
all thinking, and then you put words to it, and now it's a real thing. Now it's tangible.
He put worms to it.
He put worms to it. Fuck! What are we doing?
Hi.
What? This is every episode. This
Yeah.
is nothing unusual.
Yeah, why do I act surprised every time? Maybe that's part of the bit, too.
It's part of the gag.
It's part of the bit.
I'm explaining the joke.
Yeah. Who wants to go first? I don't even care at this point.
I'll go first.
All right,
Okay.
John Thayer.
I played Danganronpa V3.
Oh,
Killing
fucking
Harmony.
right.
Yeah, that's a hell of a video game.
It sure is.
The other
In
stream
every
of
sense.
the ending we did to this time,
Yep.
where we
That
all
game's-
watched you descend into madness.
Yep. That game is so much.
Yeah.
In
Like,
every sense.
Yeah,
it's like Red's first VR experience. That's Danganronpa V3. It's a lot.
it's a lot. Yeah. Also, John, be very careful with your words when talking about this game,
I'm very careful. I'm a
Yeah.
careful.
because
Very
man,
careful. Yeah. What was y'all's impression of my impression based on the tweet storm? If that makes sense.
you took it well, I think.
Yeah, I think you took it well. I think you got exactly mostly what I got out of it, honestly, and which is kind of just, hey, this is a piece of media that's talking about itself as much as it is all the other media you consume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. I think I took it well. And then there were parts where I was kind of like having a hard time with it, like just like especially the early couple chapters, like 2 and 3, where I was like,
Oh yeah.
boy, I am a little bit kind of done with Danganronpa. Huh?
See,
And
that's what I love about this game is because like
it's leaning into that.
kind of the point. It's like I think Danganronpa 2 tries to be the best game it can,
Mm-hmm.
and in a wild way, V3 does not try to be the best game that it can be on purpose.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, like,
Man, Chapter 3 makes me so mad.
oh god.
just like the everything about it.
Everything about it, like the setup, the victims,
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything made me mad.
just there's
a
not a
lie.
single part of
It's a
chapter
lie.
3 that you enjoyed.
It's funny. Oh my god, chapter 4 is very fun. It's a good cute twist. And then
Yes.
chapter 5 and then it just goes.
And
off
then
the
it
rails.
goes
And then it goes.
the hardest.
Yep. So I think that my kind of complicated reaction was in the ways that it was still kind of doing the same things that 1 and 2 were, both across the board and sort of in the resolution, I guess.
Mhm.
Where it's both doing something completely different, but also kind of not.
Yeah.
I think was like my kind of complicated reaction with it. Like the very, very end was like half in my head, like, oh my god, this is so perfect and sweet, and then a little bit, well, that feels like a little bit of a cop out.
Mm.
Yeah.
And and then just kind of making it, okay, we're doing this again. So that was why I think that it's so I realized, like, as I was playing it, like, okay, these games get bigger and are smarter, and they have bigger feelings and catharsis at the end, but then still kind of get weaker for me as they go because of the ways that they are repeating themselves and kind of rearticulating a lot of the same ideas. And,
it's very much like Metal Gear Solid 2 has that whole Solid Snake simulation overtone to it, to where it's mimicking Metal Gear Solid 1 for some very specific reasons, but not exactly. And if they had continued to do that in some way, it would have just kind of like been, this, guys, you did this already.
Well, I kind of feel like, and then Metal Gear Solid 3 happens, and it's just like, okay, here's your new, like, wacky crew of bosses. This guy shoots bees! And it's like, okay, you're kind of doing the same thing without the irony now.
But man, that story is real fucking good.
There's good parts in 3, obviously, but like the bosses are just
bosses are fucking stupid.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Like after Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2 through 4, and I don't even count 5 anymore because in retrospect, I just don't like it anymore. Like, it was on my Game of the Year list, but that series ended at 4 for me, and I like 4 because it fully embraces every bit of stupidity, and it's got the balls to say, and the only explanation is nanomachines suck my dick.
Yeah, Danganronpa V3 is sort of like if Metal Gear Solid 3 was even more of a meta, was like even more kind of going up its butt, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And then, but in Metal Gear, the actual Metal Gear Solid 3 is like, all right, we've done the meta thing. Let's do a new story that's good. So by the end of Danganronpa V3, I was like, okay, I'm satisfied with this thing. I am ready to. I've lived in Hope's Peak for 100 hours now. I'm pretty done. So that was like if I said either one of those as like my I completely fell in love with how obviously excellent and on point the climax is, and all the stuff leading up to that in the first chapter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I forgot about the first chapter because it was so long. You took a break after that one. Or it was after 1 or 2, but like 2 is not 1.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think I will say I was maybe a little mean to V3 saying it's not trying to be the best game that it can be. 1 absolutely is. Yep. And then it intentionally goes into a slump.
Yeah.
It's basically chapter 1 is the truth, is the real thing.
Yeah.
And then they spend a bunch of the climax and this is why that real thing matters.
Yeah. That's a damn good way of summing up what that game is without spoiling it. By the way, that was actually really fucking articulate.
It was so articulate. I'm like, I'm not sure what they mean by all that, but okay. I can't ask you to elaborate for obvious reasons.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the thing, is that was the real thing, and it's a 50-hour game. So that's a lot of time to kind of put on not a lot of like meat, I guess, because there's so much time spent just kind of doing the Danganronpa thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The meat's good. It's just, the nature of it means that they have to kind of...
You need some vegetables every now and again to spice things up.
Yeah, and the fact that it's the longest one, like
by a margin.
Yeah, which seems like a weird choice to me. Like, still, like, maybe it makes... Go ahead.
I don't know. I think the one really emotional thing that I think landed for all of us was those out at night exercise sessions with Shuichi and Kaito and stuff.
Yeah,
like, those are so good. Like, that to me,
that's the emotional heart of this game.
Was the heart of the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I close my eyes and think of that game. Yeah, and then
they did a romance and it worked really well. Like, they earned it. They earned it, and I didn't think that this was a team that could do that. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just I don't trust anime type things with romance a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been burnt quite a bit. Like, when I can say, like, one of the best anime romances I've seen is probably Toradora, that's probably not a good thing.
That's, like, what came to my head, too. It's like, like Toradora.
It's like, I like Toradora a lot.
Is that it?
but I'm not going to say that it's a pinnacle of masterful, love storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Not like Your Name.
No, oh, get the fuck out of here.
I was gonna say like Trails.
They're doing
Okay.
a live-action English version of that, and I can't wait till they shit all over it and fuck it up.
I mean, Netflix is so weird because they have a lot of anime now, and they always license the weird live-action version too. And then if there isn't one, even if there is one, because there are live-action Death Note movies, they just make their own anyways.
Yeah.
So they already shit on Death Note, so like I don't really care. The original still exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's bad. So I mean, like, what can they can only do worse.
They can only go on.
I saw Polly updated her Mal. And I got to see like scores for things that I've been wondering about, like fucking Wolf's Rain. I was just like, oh yay! John from 7 years ago who cares so much about this.
John from 7 years ago who literally called me God.
Yep, John who had that list memorized and be like, oh, you changed that number.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Oof.
It's amazing we ended up becoming friends through that, because people that were usually like that tended to get on my nerves. It's amazing we ended up having the friendship we have now.
No, I'm totally never do that now.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, that worked out. That worked out okay. But yeah, that's sort of my Danganronpa experience. I feel more solid now that Trigger Happy Havoc is my favorite. Even though it's the shortest and dumbest of the three, just because like it's the most like like it's just sort of the raw, undistilled version of that story where it's just we thought up all of this and it's doing it for the first time. So the climax and everything just really lands hard for me.
Yeah, there's not a lot of expectation going into that you have going into 2 or V3 as well. So
So I'm satisfied with V3, and I think it was a worthwhile journey. I don't want to play any more Danganronpa games.
I'm kind of done.
Absolutely.
I am absolutely over that whole thing now. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying you did it. You have a really nice trilogy here. Let's not fuck it up and do more, okay?
Making more would be the literal definition of fucking it up.
Yeah.
Literally, no matter what.
Yeah, just even announcing something at this point is like, y'all done missed the point of your own fucking game.
Yeah, they got to, and that's one more thing with the very, very end where they sort of like open up just a little bit of an opening for them to make more, and I'm like, nope.
See, I didn't see it that way,
that.
but like, I didn't see it that way, but I don't think they're going to.
Yeah.
If they did, it would be like so removed probably from the original creators that they would be like, no, fuck that. We don't approve of this.
Metal Gear Survive.
Oh, God.
Danganronpa Survive. It's a battle royale now.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait. That's the original battle royale. It's just right. It's always been a battle royale. Never mind.
Yeah, it's definitely taking its cues from Battle Royale.
The movie, not the PUBG.
Not the PUBG. I remember loving that movie so much, and then it's like, oh, this is a different thing now.
Okay, favorite character.
Shit. Kokichi.
Yeah, Kokichi is by far, I think, the character that makes that game work, I think.
Yeah. The Nagito, sort of.
I almost said a spoiler, but yeah. But
yeah. I mean, like, in a very different sort of way. Like, Nagito is my favorite for the kinds of conflicts he brings to the table.
Yeah.
And then,
he's definitely the Nagito of that game.
Yeah.
But
in a very different, good way.
Yep, it's delicious. So I loved everything about Kokichi. Ultimate Supreme Leader.
Yeah. And Miyu, of course, is a precious, innocent little angel with a halo.
Of course.
Vulgar.
She's
fucking...
not... What? What do you mean?
Let's see.
When was she ever vulgar in that game?
Literally every dialogue she has.
She said a bunch of things that made me, like, pause for a second. Like,
Whoa.
There were a couple
go
of lines.
so hard.
There were a couple of lines I felt were like, oh, okay, you didn't need to go there. That was like, there was. I think there was like a Sherlock homo. And,
that's
and there was some retard kind of comment that I didn't really like either. Because that's when I felt like it was punching down. And it's like, no, I think like Miyu's just. She's a character that says bad words and you laugh because it's a character saying bad words. Don't throw in actual things that punch down, okay?
Yeah, that checks out. Got solid localization, though, generally.
Yeah.
I was really pleased with the dub and everything.
Oh, yeah, the dub is super solid.
Yep. So I haven't watched the anime. I haven't played Ultimate Despair Girls. I think I'm okay.
You're good.
You don't need to do either of those. If you want some extra insight into Danganronpa 2, I would watch the Despair arc of Danganronpa 3. I would watch that if you want some
There's
really
a
cool...
thing in that made me so mad as a fan of the games that I don't know. And it's not why it's called the Despair arc. It's just, this is like really stupid.
I feel that.
You're having to justify the... Okay, so in the first game, there's something called, like, the most terrible, awful, tremendous,
tragedy
horrible
in
human history. They have to justify how it was pulled off, and it's real dumb.
It is real dumb, but that's Danganronpa, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's real dumb, though.
It is! It's absolutely dumb.
That's true. All three of the main games keep the lore at kind of a distance.
Yeah, that's what's so good.
That's what makes it kind of work for me. So
like
anything
keeping that incident as vague as possible. Like, they give you an idea of what it is, but they don't but like then the anime kind of goes and kind of has to justify it. Mm-hmm. And it's dumb, but I still liked it, but whatever. Not going to please everybody.
The reason it's called the Despair arc, which fucking boy.
Oh man. Yeah, that
so it's
works.
Worth it for that part if you really wanted to have a bad time.
Oh man, that part really fucking gutted me. I hated it. And they draw it out. They draw it the fuck out. They're like, are you feeling it yet? I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs. I'm really feeling it. I'm really feeling it, Mr. Krabs.
Speak my language a little more with that, but no, I'm good.
That's totally fine. And the thing that I think still remains awesome about Danganronpa is if you want to play Danganronpa 1 and be done, that's okay.
They're all stopping points.
Yeah, if you want to play 2 and that be the end, that's okay. Like, all 3 are good exit points. That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But the last one is the most exit point.
Oh yeah, like it's the forceful exit point. It's literally shooting you into a cannon and firing you off into the mountains. Get the fuck out of our lawn.
Play our next game that's going to be different, but probably still a battle royale thing.
Oh, really?
I know they've got an SRPG coming out.
Okay.
The same team.
Because we saw a thing that looked like a killing school, and I was like, oh, okay.
John, did you look into any of the post-game stuff in V3?
The post-game stuff in V3 is nuts.
There's like this whole board game RPG where you can recruit characters from the other games, and it's all sprite-based, and it's really cute, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not here for this.
Yeah, like that was my reaction. I'm not here for this, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of want to play that. But it's Zonky Zero is the new game that they've got coming out, and I kind of looked at it. It's like, I don't really think this is for me. It's like a dungeon crawler kind of thing.
Okay.
I'll probably still buy it though because I'm a whore.
There you go.
Maybe putting that board game thing after that ending is a little bit jarring. Like if it's just been unlocked the whole time.
Maybe that kind of fits the.
I don't know. It's weird. I was just like, I'm so done. The screen said, like, the end.
The end.
End.
I was totally okay with that being the end, yeah.
And then my last screenshot is, like, a board game, and, like, you recruited Sonya Nevermind. I'm like, yeah, and, like, a Dragon Quest screen against some Dogos.
Cute. Not not Doggos. Dugos.
Yeah, whatever.
Doggos.
Well, those are the Neptunia ripoff.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm
slimes.
sure they made their own.
They're just slimes.
They're probably just slimes.
Yeah.
It's a Dragon Quest riff. They're everything from Japan.
Oh god, Monogoose. There's your new one.
That's what it is.
Mm. Oh my god.
That's kind of a terrifying thought. Somebody draw that. I need to see this. I need to see a Monokuma
I
slime.
thought that's what it was. Hold on. Now I have to look.
Oh, good.
Atelier has its own, like, slime riff, and then once I played that, I couldn't keep them distinct from Neptunia in my head. It was just all...
They're real similar.
Doggos are the best because they're cute. And they're dogs.
Monagoo. All right, someone did it.
All right, someone did it. There we go.
Monagoo.
That's fantastic.
Stupid.
I love it. I love it.
Life is good.
That's
all right. Slow. Are we good with Danganronpa?
I'm good with Danganronpa.
I'm good with Danganronpa forever.
Forever. That's actually going to be the next game.
Danganronpa forever.
Yeah.
It's like procedurally generated class trials.
Oh my god! Yeah, it just randomly generates students and murders.
The next one, they actually kidnap you and make you fight in a killing game.
So
in real life.
Actually, if they want to continue it, they should just do another VR thing. Because there is that super weird...
That weird VR thing they did already, yeah.
Alright. Rhett!
Hi.
What have you been up to?
Oh boy, I've been up to a lot of stuff.
Go for it.
So, I'm going to start with something I haven't talked about on Twitter or anything whatsoever.
Oh dear.
So you all are in for a surprise.
Let me buckle the fuck up.
Buckle up. This is... I saw a GIF of a game on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Someone posted it because it was a funny moment where the game is trying to do this dramatic late title card reveal, like during gameplay, and of course they screw up the moment. So it's this alien planet, and there's a spaceship, and the spaceship takes off into the sky, and the words "Ubisoft Presents" appear, and then the spaceship crashes down into the ground like fucking face plants, and then the title game comes up, Starlink Battle for Atlas.
Oh wow,
that's a title and a half.
Yeah. So this was, and then this was a game that when it was announced, I was like, fuck yeah, and then I learned out about what it was, and it was like, oh fuck no, I'm out. And I didn't think about it for like 6 months, and literally forgot about it. So this is a Toys to Life game.
Yep.
Yep. But I started looking it up, and I was like, oh, this looks really neat, because apparently a whole bunch of this game is a riff on No Man's Sky.
Oh, weird.
And I'm a real whore for that, apparently, because it's not procedurally generated, but it does the whole thing where it's like, hey, you've got a solar system of like 9 uniquely crafted planets, and you fly around and can just like seamlessly load into them, and that's real cool. And then do your Ubisoft open world stuff in a spaceship on them. And I really like spaceships, you guys.
Yeah, I know, Rhett.
And the coup de grace is that on the Nintendo Switch version,
it's Star Fox.
You can play as Star Fox. So I was like, okay, I'll get this game if the price is right. And I looked it up on Amazon, and oh, hey, I bet this thing bombed.
Oh, yeah.
Because the starter set that was selling for $75 and comes with the little R-Wing statue was now selling for $25.
Yeah, I've seen him for $20.
And I was like, okay, that's a pretty good discount. And all the reviews are saying, don't buy this one. It doesn't come with enough toys. You'll have a bad time in the game itself. You should only play this if, like, you just need the R-Wing statue. And I was like, I don't just need the R-Wing statue. So then I looked on the Nintendo eShop, because there's a digital version that gets you way more.
Okay.
And, oh, look, they're having an Ubisoft sale right now. So, like, everything Ubisoft was, like, half off. So I got it for... And then it's like, okay, you can get the standard edition, which comes with 6 ships and 8 weapons and 5 pilots for this price. Or for $10 more, you can get one that comes with, like, 1 extra ship, 3 extra pilots, 3 extra weapons. And I'm like, oh, my fucking God. Video games are the fucking worst.
They are. They are at this point.
So it's like, I don't care about other ships because I'm just playing a Star Fox in the R-Wing. I don't care about other pilots. The only difference is the weapons. I'm not paying $10 extra for fucking 3 digital weapons.
No.
So I'm not sure how to talk about this game now. It's just maybe the intro leading into it was more interesting than the game itself, which is
is this game just like a big sigh? Is that all this game is?
It's not a big sigh. It's like... It's close but kind of misses the mark, because I think the really weird thing is that when you're on the planets, you're kind of guided into hovering like inches above the ground, and it kind of becomes like a third-person shooter in a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
So the controls are really weird. Like when you're in actual flight in space or like high orbit, it doesn't move like any sort of flight sim whatsoever. Where it's like you still have kind of strafing controls on the left analog, and then the right analog will kind of pitch you up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just feels really weird to be doing kind of circle strafes around enemies. And it works better on the ground, but again, all the Star Fox games are about, flying on planet surfaces for the most part.
Not all of them. I remember Star Fox Assault didn't
the
have
good
a whole lot
ones.
of it, and I remember Star Fox Adventures was just, hey, it's Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, so the funny thing is that like you're doing these missions on the ground, and Fox never gets out of the ship because it's just weird. Like you go up to vendors and just stay in your spaceship and just talk to them through your comms.
Just drive through weapon buying.
It's drive-throughs, yeah. So the funny thing about... So this is my first time playing like a Toys to Life game, and probably my last time, because I don't think with this thing bombing that they're going to be attempting that anytime ever again.
Yeah, I think that fad is done.
I think this was a big nail in the coffin, and I think they may have even seen it coming given the way they made a digital edition.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you can buy the toy, or let's sell this stuff on the eShop, because...
Ain't nobody buying these fucking plastic toys.
And man, the toy version seems like it would be cool for like an hour. Mm-hmm. And I guess, again, this is for little kids. Like, I'm not fucking deluded here. But like, gameplay-wise, it seems like it would be a huge pain in the ass, because when you die, you have to like physically take the ship off your controller and slap another one on in order to keep going. When on the digital version, it's just press start, select another ship. Okay, you're in. And then like switching weapons where you're physically taking them off the ship and then kind of get them in and click them in. Just seems like it would be very tiring very quickly.
Do you think that Nintendo at all is kicking themselves in the ass for not jumping on that Toys to Life thing in a bigger way than just doing a straight up Pokemon game of nothing but toys?
I mean,
can you imagine? But no, I'm talking an entire game that is, like, you buy it and you get, like, 3 Pokemon, but if you want more, you gotta buy them. Do you think they're kicking themselves in the ass for that?
Oh, that would probably...
I don't think so, because there was just this report the other day of, like, Nintendo advises their mobile partners to not be scummy. And, like, their partners are mad because Nintendo won't let them gouge their players scummy as much. Yeah. That's good. We're like, hey, Dragalia Lost is a little fucked up. Can you ease up on pushing players into spending? Because like Nintendo has a brand to protect.
They've definitely got more of a brand to kind of watch out for than a fucking mobile company.
And it's funny because I'd say Amiibo, like by far now, is the most successful kind of toy thing, but it's not actually tied to any game in very large amounts, like Smash Brothers kind of, because they did literally every character in Smash. But like there's no game that is like, hey, you get like 1% of the experience, now buy 100 toys.
Oh jeez.
So like that's the thing, like once I'm playing this, realizing how bad of a purchase that Starlink physical edition would have been, because you get like 2 weapons and Star Fox has like a third as the default because his ship is special. But I'm like, man, this game is already really repetitive. It would be like miserably repetitive if you only had 2 weapons, because that's like the most fun part is switching out weapons and like they have kind of combos that'll work together. Like one of them will be like, oh, it shoots a black hole, and then if you shoot a fire missile into that, like it becomes a flaming black hole. Like there's dumb stuff like that is kind of fun. And but it's like, yeah, it's an okay game. It's mostly just, hey, I am continually amazed when I can play a game like this on the go and have, a lunch break at work and like playing this big console game on it and just being like, hey, it's pleasant enough, even though it's kind of Ubisoft collection nonsense. And like everything levels. Your ship's wings have levels because you can mix and match the wings, because why not?
That's fucking Ubisoft with every game, like literally everything. Like the new Assassin's Creed, you literally have a level up gauge for each toe. It's crazy. Like, what are they
Yeah,
doing
it's
with these
ridiculous.
video games?
Yeah. So it's like every weapon can be leveled, every ship wing can be leveled, your pilot can be leveled, obviously, and like when you're, it's just I've never seen a game that was ostensibly designed for kids that I felt like kind of overwhelmed with like really immediately.
Systems.
Like it's
Yeah.
maybe not as bad as some other Ubisoft games. Like I don't think the mini map and stuff is super overwhelming because like I've like kind of a sense for this. Like would this drive Polly like into OCD madness?
That like the first time I booted up Far Cry 3, and
Yeah.
I literally had a panic attack because my mini map was
Yeah.
Icon City.
I don't think it's that bad, but it's just like it throws you into the game maybe too quickly, and I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on in the story. And like you're throwing these gameplay systems and level ups and crafting, and well, there's not really crafting, but there's a lot of like you get these badges and you can put them into your weapons, and oh, this one's plus 10% damage and 5% cooldown. It's like it's a lot.
This
And
is
this
like
is a kid's game.
this is like me
It's-
watching After 5 try to play Xenoblade Chronicles X,
Oh yeah, that's
The Wii
another
U-
one that sounds
the
like
Wii U
a
game.
lot.
I was watching him play that, and there's like 9,000 systems in that game, and I was just like, holy shit. Like, and they just dump it all on you in the first
Ugh.
hour. They don't work you into it
Ugh.
like the first Xenoblade does, or Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, I'm glad that you said two, because man,
Yeah,
the
X,
inventory management in the first one
It's
is
a
still
nightmare.
hot. Yeah,
yeah, it like watching After 5 play Xenoblade Chronicles X is a nightmare because that game is just like there's
Back
too
in the box.
much. He's been playing 1 hour, and I know that there are like 15,000 job classes and
oh my god,
47 types of damage, 3 different cooldown meters. What is going on?
Okay, this isn't that bad, but like, you always think kids games are going to be a little simpler, and it's not the case. It's like the kids version of a first Ubisoft game, so it's still a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like it's fun messing around, and I like spaceships and shit. and it's amazing how much they looked at No Man's Sky and was like, we want that, because like the second planet just looks like a No Man's Sky planet with like the rolling hills and like the neon pink trees and stuff.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh, you guys were really inspired, huh?
You're just
Like,
really going for a specific thing here.
Yeah, like one of the reviews I said said No Man's Skylanders, which I thought was really good.
That's a real good tagline.
Yeah, but you get to play Star Fox, and they work Star Fox into the story pretty naturally.
That's good. I was wondering how that would be, or whether it would just be
Yeah.
like something they'd like beat you over the head with, or something, or if they
It's kind
actually
of like at the
weaved
very
it in.
start of the story, like your human characters are being attacked, and then oh hey, Star Fox kind of rolls up, and you can kind of see a hitch where the cutscene has been edited to throw them in.
Mhm.
So they're like, hey, we're mercenaries, let's help you out, and you can help us find Star Wolf, because that's like their big objective.
Mm.
And there are some missions for them later on that'll tie into them trying to find Star Wolf. So like that's the part of the story that I'm fine with. What the humans are up to, I have no fucking idea. It is a whole lot of techno nonsense.
Mhm.
Again,
A lot
I
of
can't
proper
believe-
nouns that you don't
can't
understand.
believe how
and-
quickly this game lost me on the plot stuff.
Dang. Just over and done.
Yeah, but I'll keep at it for a while. I mean,
It's a good lunchtime break game.
it's a
sounds
good
like.
lunchtime break game, and like I'm playing it on like the hardest difficulty,
Mm.
which is basically you die in like 2 hits. But because I bought the digital edition, you have 5 ships, so it's like you get 5 lives, and that's nice.
There you go.
Because like yeah, so it's like that's the real rub of the physical edition is when you get 2 ships, and I think it's probably 1 on the other consoles because you don't get Star Fox.
Oof.
So it's like, oh, the game. That's the thing about the Toys to Life stuff is like, it so clearly impacts the game design and balance
Yeah.
because it feels weird just starting with 8 weapons and knowing I'll never get more through gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't work up to any of them. It's just like, oh, you can have your little black hole launcher day 1 if you want, and that just feels really off
I
and
see.
kind of anticlimactic, knowing that there's nothing like there's no breadcrumb trail. Basically, like, oh, at level 10 you'll get this gun. It's hey, if you want to give us $5 more, we'll give you this gun.
Ouch. Yeah,
And
that's not
that's
not
rough.
as fun a proposition when you're playing
No.
a video game. Turns out.
And I did look at the pack on the eShop for the 2 of the 3 guns I don't have, and it was like, well, I could get 2 of them for $5, and I was like, fucking no, because they get kind of repetitive. Where it's like, one of them is like, one of the ones I have is like homing ice missiles, and then one of the paid ones homing black holes, and I'm like, well, that seems broken.
That seems pretty busted, but also really fun.
They put that
Always
one
trying
like
to tempt you.
they put that one in like a $13 pack.
Oh,
and I'm like,
fuck off.
that, because you have to buy like ship, pack, and character and weapon or something. Yeah, it's
Ew.
Choice to Life seems real scummy.
Yeah. Good thing that
Like
Skylanders
they give
thing
you 2
passed.
weapons at the start, like a fire and an ice one, because they had to have something for the puzzles in the game.
Yeah.
So all the puzzles in the game are based on fire and ice weapons, because those are the only ones they knew every player would have. And that's what's really like fucking.
Skylanders didn't give no fucks about that kind of shit, though.
I know.
Like, they
right?
straight up just like, you can't access this part of the game because you didn't buy the fucking toy, dipshit. Go tell your parents that they should be better parents.
Man. Yeah,
Disney
that's a.
Infinity was the other one, right?
Oh, Disney Infinity didn't really take off, though.
Well, they got to like 3 seasons, I think, or like Disney Infinity 3. Like the Steam versions of those.
I didn't hear people beating people up in stores over fucking Disney Infinity shit. Like, Skylanders was
Skylanders
like
was a big
people getting their asses beat in stores.
I didn't even hear about. Yeah, but Skylanders was like the original huge crazy one that, like, it was the trendsetter.
Yeah.
It's the one everyone tried to follow.
The
And then
puppy.
Disney Infinity was like kind of the last gasp.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to say is like the Steam versions of Disney Infinity, I believe, just come with everything that those games ever had,
God.
which is nice.
That's
But
a smart
also,
move.
also
Wild.
those games don't sound very good. And like, I think Disney had weird restrictions of like, this character from this franchise can't play with this character from this franchise.
Yeah. Disney's
And I
always
think
fucking
even
weird.
I think even Kingdom Hearts might get a bit of that.
Oh,
from
Kingdom
them.
Hearts definitely does. I've heard people talk
Yeah.
about reading interviews of like them having weird fucking limitations on what they can and can't do.
But you can have Mickey and Donald talking about the Zen Miss and Zen Orton.
Okay.
I still love those cutscenes so much.
The coolest thing with that was that they were allowed to like only have Mickey for like one scene,
One scene
and from
in the
a
first
distance.
game. Yeah.
And then the way they handle that in the game is just the coolest, smartest moment.
Yeah, they put
like-
it behind the secret ending you have to unlock.
No, he shows
Oh.
up in the regular ending of the first game.
Really? I thought it was only in the ending you have to unlock.
I didn't. If there's a secret ending, I don't know about it.
There's like a
I just
hidden
thought-
cutscene at the end of
Oh,
Kingdom
no.
Hearts 1 you have to unlock.
John, these games always have secret endings.
Yeah.
There's no way. Well, it wasn't in that one. There's no way he didn't
Well-
show up in the one that I watched. Kingdom.
Look, man, I
Okay.
played the first Kingdom Hearts like 80,000 years ago. Okay.
I
Okay,
mean,
I'm just saying
okay.
that his appearance in that game was defined by corporate like meddling, and then
Yeah.
it turned out amazing.
That's cool.
Like that, I think that's cool. There is a secret ending. What the fuck?
Yeah, there is. You have to literally do everything.
Oh,
You know
boy.
what? I wonder if this is I wonder if it's a final mix thing.
No, it's not.
No,
It was in
You're
the
right.
original. Like this. I remember this very.
No, yeah, it's in the
specifically being
original.
a thing.
Roxas is in it.
Yeah, it's
Holy
just like it's like a big 4-minute fighting trailer, really.
Oh.
Weird. I had
Okay.
no idea. All right.
Okay.
So as back to Disney Infinity, that was playing.
This went way too long. I'm done with Starlink. Paulie,
Okay.
what you been up to?
What have I been up to? Y'all remember like when we were here last time, and I was like, man, survival horror games are cool. I'm sure I've played a lot of them. I played that Resident Evil 2 remake,
Yeah.
and then I played that
Resident Evil 1
and then I played that
remake.
Resident Evil 1 remake, and it totally blew my fucking mind at how that
Good.
man, it's still so good. I'm still thinking about that game.
Awesome.
Still really good. So it's like, well, you know, we're still on the survival horror kick. Let's pull out the big guns. I pulled out
Oh fuck.
I pulled out Silent Hill fucking 2.
That's a big gun.
That is a real big gun. Let me tell you something. Silent
big
Hill
gun.
2, when that game came out, I was all up ons. That game was kind of incredible. I didn't even like the first one that much.
Mhm.
And I knew that Silent Hill 2 was pretty good for what it was at the time. There's, there's a lot of qualifiers here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, this is gonna be tasty.
Yeah, it's gonna be tasty. Here comes all the hate.
All right, because I freaked out about this a whole lot back in like 7 years
Yeah, I
ago or
remember
whatnot,
you wrote a whole big old thingy.
and then I abandoned it.
Yeah, you abandoned it.
Everything in your life.
Just yeah.
Holy shit!
Wow! Shotgun blast to the face, care of Rhett.
What
Jesus.
possible qualifiers could you have though? Silent Hill 2 is a masterpiece.
So Silent Hill 2, you know what this is. You get a message from your dead wife, and you're like, go to Silent Hill. And like, that's a cool idea. And you go to Silent Hill, and you have this cool opening moment where you're running through this city that's completely abandoned, and there's like fog everywhere, and it's really suffocating. It creates some really great ambiance, and I think it's probably still my favorite moment of the game. Is and the one that really sticks out to me the most is when you arrive there, and it's hard to get around the city because everything's blocked off, and you're just like, you're not really sure where you're going or how to get there. And it's even better if you're not using the map, because the map kind of just like fills in everything and tells you where everything is blocked. So it kind of like takes the tension off of that moment. So I realized early, don't do that. Just follow the streets. You'll find out where you need to go. And then, you're playing it, you're doing the Silent Hill thing, and you're like, and I'm sitting there, and I'm about 5 hours in, I'm near the end of the game, and I'm like, oh wait, where's the spookiness?
Oh no.
I thought this game was creepy somehow. I thought this game was supposed to be atmospheric. It was like, no, it's I'm not getting that at all anymore. At all, like in the least. In fact, this game is kind of annoying, if I'm honest. So I played this on. I put it on the hardest action difficulty and the hardest logic difficulty to make the puzzles really satisfying, which they were.
Right.
Like they really did a lot with making those puzzles a lot more clever if you're playing on the harder difficulty. Why are there enemies in these games? They don't do anything. They just kind of like walk around, and they might vibrate at you every now and again, but they're not threatening in the least. Am I missing something? Did my PS2... Is my PS2 glitching out and the enemies aren't working? Or what's going on here? What happened?
I think I remember trying the harder difficulties for 1 and 2 and then being like, this just seems like it's making twice as many enemies, and it's kind of not doing it for me.
It's just kind of like, I was just like, all of these enemies are doing, and all they're doing is flailing at me. I can't even get damaged enough to get the ending that I want. Like, I'm actively trying to run into these enemies on the hardest difficulty, and they're very fucking passive. It's hard to get damaged in this game. But the thing, I think, that doesn't fucking work anymore, and the reason that I just got utterly, completely tired of playing this game was that, okay, let's say that Silent Hill 2 is a game in which there are about 700 doors that you can interact with. And every one of them has a prompt letting you know if you can or cannot interact with them. Since you don't usually have a map letting you know which doors are locked or which aren't until you've checked a door, we now have to check about 700 doors for the same, it looks like the lock is broken and I can't use this door. Let's say there are probably 39 doors in the game that you can actually go into. What do you think a majority of your time in Silent Hill is spent doing?
Is it jiggling doors?
Rubbing up against doors and pressing the action button and listening to the game try to scare you with ambiance that actually isn't very scary anymore. I think Silent Hill 2 is kind of bad now. I don't...
Oh, boy.
I have no... Like, even the story, which is what I think gets it the most points, it's like, this is stupid and contrived. It's like, this isn't a surprise. Like, the twist isn't really a twist.
I've never played this game, so this is hurting me.
It's just, like... Yeah, like, I was completely deflated by my re-Silent Hill 2 experience. It's a game that I wish I would have left in my past. Because, man, before going into it, I was so all up ons and ready to love again.
It's like the opposite of the Resident Evil experiences where you bounced off those games at the start and then eventually loved them.
Yeah, it's
or this
totally
one you loved
the opposite.
Start and then fell off it.
I think you can still not be completely deflated, Fred, and maybe give it a look yourself.
I mean, yeah. It's just wild hearing Polly be like, yeah, this game that people regard as like one of the best survival horrors of all time, not that good. Kind of hate it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. That's kind of where I'm at now. I'm like, why is this so renowned? This is an exercise in tedium. Like, there's nothing... Like, I'm not scared. I'm not fearing for my life because none of the enemies are trying to do anything to me. They jiggle at me all weird like, okay, that's fine, whatever. You might make a weird noise. Oh no, there's that baby crying sound every horror game uses.
I bet I could play this game and be scared out of my mind based on Resident Evil 2. I was scared by that game before it got scary.
You were scared of Resident Evil 4.
Well, I mean, the chainsaw dude at the start is pretty on there. Okay, the Resident Evil 4 got me with like the chainsaw guy at the start and the regenerators, and I will still say fuck them.
Fuck regenerators.
That part is legitimately fucking terrifying.
Okay, yeah, and great point brought up in the chat.
Music's real good.
The music in Silent Hill is and always will remain very good.
Yep.
Like, I'm totally on board with Silent Hill music. Like, I still think that's great. I think Silent Hill 2 as a game is complete butts now. And I don't get the love for it at all. And I love this game. I loved this game. And just replaying it all these years later, it just like, wow, this is just tedious, boring nonsense. So I threw in Silent Hill 3 because...
Oh, you did?
Because that's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's the one I like the most. I got halfway through checking door. I got about halfway through the game and got tired of checking every fucking door.
Oh,
like, that's just... What the hell is that supposed to, like, impart on the player in that every fucking door is interactable, but only one out of every 52 doors actually goes somewhere? I don't get it!
Oh, your journey through survival horror stuff took a turn I did not see coming.
It took a turn. It was a turn so bad that it's just like, okay, I'm done. Like, I was going to buy Resident Evil 0 and play that remake, or not remake. Yeah, well, it's an HD remake.
You're taking your hate of Silent Hill out on Resident Evil.
Yeah, I was going to buy that,
but, like,
and I was just like, oh,
Zero.
no. Like, Silent Hill just killed all the desire I had to play any more survival horror games for a while.
Holy fuck.
The other thing is that even back in the day, in like modern times, people don't really seem to care for Resident Evil 0, so kind of whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's just like
the only praise I've ever heard of that game is specifically for the HD remaster because they had the original assets this time, so it's not upscaled like Remake was. Mm-hmm. So it looks really good now.
That's fine. That's cool.
Because they re-rendered everything at like 1080.
This is like, I like a Resident Evil game. Like, I'm more apt to give a Resident Evil game, a fair shake at this point, knowing what I know, right?
Let's play 7.
I have not played 7. I'm interested as hell in it, though.
Yep.
I'm going to try
I don't own
VR.
It. Oh, that's good. You are going to shit your pants.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Rhett, oh my God. I need to be on a call for this.
Oh, no.
I just want to hear you reacting. I don't need to see video. I just need to hear you literally pooping your pants. I can't play this anymore.
Why do you want to hear that?
I can't play this anymore. I literally pooped my pants.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow, that's a great impression. I've got a big old fucking, like, frown, like, comical cartoon frown on my face. I'm just, like, sitting here, just like...
I mean, the war between Resident Evil and Silent Hill has been decided. Resident Evil is better, and it always was.
My dominant thing thinking about Silent Hill 2 is just like it was very sad, like more than being scary. 3's really scary. 2, that was like, oh, it was just sort of like this 5 hour of, oh.
Poop emoji.
Oh, come on.
Like, look, like I'm not gonna like sit here and trash the game or oh you're bad
Any more than you already
any more than I already have. And I'm not gonna say you're bad for liking it, but I'm thinking, have we not re-examined this game? Like, have we not had like?
I think that is one of those like
is this like
games now.
it's like this a holy grail that we've never officially kind of taken another critical look at and said, maybe that's not really all that good.
You know what I think happened? Those fucking horrible HD remasters came out on PS3.
And just by virtue of the originals still existing, like, yeah.
But, like, because those were so bad, everyone got to go, oh, it was way better originally.
Yeah, I think that's definitely got something to do with it.
So no one actually replayed the new version because it was, like, objectively worse. Mm-hmm. So the original got to be, like, this holy grail.
I just linked in the chat like one of my favorite pieces of game crit sort of ever, and it's actually a slightly negative piece on Silent Hill 2 from when it came out.
Okay.
Comparing it with Silent Hill 1, which they really liked. So that's just I actually was interested in sharing that even when I saw you were playing the game because I was like, oh, I really like this piece of crit.
I'll have to I'll give that a look. I'm just like, I'm real interested though in like what people think and like, no, you're not allowed to play it again with a strategy guide. No, put the guide away. Play the game as it is intended to be. You go rub up against all the doors in the world and all of the non-threatening enemies that aren't there to. You might walk up, they might tickle you or something. I don't know. Then the game will play that crying baby sound everybody is scared of.
When it was clear you were going down I hated this direction. I thought it was maybe going to be like this is the man pain dead wife story.
That too. And there's some real gross stuff in there with her forgiveness of what he did, and it's just like that didn't settle well. Yeah, wasn't happy with that. Man,
you hated Wolf's Rain too. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Wolf's Rain is garbage.
Oh, whatever. It's Jesus. Cool. I see. I had to bounce back hard because I was like, I had such an anti-man pain art kind of tint to my life for like several years, like to the point of like, oh, Dragon Quest V, you're a dad, so it's evil.
Oh, right, you're a dad. Yeah, okay. Well, I wonder where all that came from.
Yeah, so now I'm kind of like, well, I like man pain actually. I think it's good. I think
John likes all forms of man pain.
Yeah, he's down.
Metal Gear Solid 5, the man pain.
The man.
That specific kind of like angst about very masculine suffering.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, my dead wife. Oh, what I was forced to do.
Oh God, Silent Hill 2 is all that.
Yeah, it's all that. It's great. But yeah,
the horrible pain that I had to endure while my wife was dying of a horrible disease. Woe is me! Why is life so bad?
Guys, I was so horny, but I couldn't do anything about it because she was dying.
Wow,
that's literally that's literally the course of thought that Silent Hill 2 has.
And it's a very strong emotional core, and I cried.
I didn't. I sat there.
I just want to check this out more now. I play games to spite Paulie, I've realized.
You do. You actually do, yeah.
Don't worry, I do too. It works out.
I was watching something recently, I think it was kind of a retrospective on survival horror games, and they said that like Silent Hill 1 was really highly regarded, and 2 was kind of this weird departure that people didn't like on release. But then kind of aged into being actually the classic.
Like one set a story in stone, and then they don't pick that story back up again until 3. So 1 and 3 are connected, and 2 was its own thing. So that's kind of like where that bit of sort of negativity for that game comes from when it came out.
But somehow 2 has become kind of like
the canonized greatest survival horror game ever.
The Far Cry 2 of Silent Hill games.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that was Yahtzee.
It's a lot of him. That's definitely
he really beat that drum a lot.
Yeah. I don't watch him anymore. Haven't for like 5 years.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Like, if
I think we-
you are a game designer, how do you make a game that's got 700 doors
You really couldn't
Wait a
deal with
minute.
and
doors.
only 30 of them work?
I think you're tweaking those numbers a little bit. Some of them are locked, and then you have to come back to them later with real keys.
I'm including those in doors that work.
Okay, I feel like you're exaggerating.
If I have to, I will count every door in that game.
Oh my
You
god.
have to.
If I have to, I will replay that game and count every motherfuck door.
Every
I think you could-
motherfucker door.
I could probably just look up maps online and then
Yeah, there's got to be an easier way than.
I will count that up, and I will report back on the next podcast, and we'll run the numbers, and we'll see why it's real stupid.
Is a map going to list every locked door? I
Yes,
guess
it does, because it X's them out in game when they can't be opened.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's just a whole map of X's, and then like, oh hey, here's a line that you can go through.
Are the doors that you can open really not like the obvious end of hallway?
No,
ones?
they're not. They don't always put them in the obvious place. It would be like, okay, just go to the end of the fucking hallway. That's the door. No, it's like the third door on the left wall, out of a hallway of 10 doors.
They need to do the Valve thing of like putting a flashing light pointing towards the correct one.
This is the one right here.
Somebody dropped a flashlight here, and it's pointing the way forward. Like
Hey!
in Left 4 Dead.
I would have been so okay if you come on this podcast with like, actually, Silent Hill 1 is the best. Actually, Silent Hill 3 is the best. But no, you came in here and we're like, all of that's garbage. Throw it in the trash.
I don't like any of it anymore.
What about 4?
By door, okay, yeah, Zemek asks, by doors that don't work, what do I mean? There are doors that don't work. You go up to them, and the prompt is, the door lock seems damaged. I can't use it. And that's every door that you can't open in the game. If the doors weren't interactable, you know what? That might ease some of the discomfort, but the fact that it's basically a pixel hunt, where you have to test every fucking door you come across, because that might be the one you need to go into. So yeah, like, it's such, like, that is such awful design. Who thought that was good?
Whatever.
Things were different in, 2002?
I'll admit it, like I said, I liked these games. I liked them until I replayed them in 2019 and realized, wait a minute, this doesn't add up at all.
I wash my hands of this conversation.
You should wash your hands anyways, John.
You should, yeah.
I wash my hands a lot for reasons.
Yeah. It's because you jack off a lot. Okay. And sometimes semen gets on your fingers. From when you ejaculate.
Yep. In your mouth.
In my mouth.
Everyone's like,
Did you
we're
hear?
done with this shit.
Did you hear? I said, that's the same reason I brush my teeth all the time.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
The only Silent Hill I played is 2, and I was kind of unimpressed. Thanks for the input, Zach. It's appreciated. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind.
I got Tengu on my side. That's all that matters, right?
I appreciate all spectrum of opinions. That's what the Sockscast is for. We're all welcome here, no matter how wrong we are.
We're a podcast of diverse opinions.
Yeah.
And they're all mostly right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. We should move on.
So do we want to go another round or take a break?
We can take a break. I probably need it.
All right. We will be back in like 5 minutes.
I personally preferred Silent Hill 3 over 2. Good for you, Poncho. That's fabulous. I'm so happy for you.
Uh-huh. Ah.
Ah.
I don't think John's back yet.
Oh, well.
He's still muted.
Ah, it's my favorite.
I started Wander Song.
Oh, hey.
Yay!
That's a good video game.
I forgot I was going to post a screenshot. Because you get to name your character at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But you only have so many letters.
It's the way they go about that is real dumb. I love it.
So I'm going to post it. I'll send it to both of you.
Okay.
And okay, there's one. I was just looking for a chat that is both of you too.
Hey, do y'all know in like time travel movies where people will make a change in the past, and then there's like a wave that like as you see things changing and being affected in the future, like a wave that goes across the screen or the area, and then suddenly things are different.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening in our chat right now, where suddenly nobody likes Silent Hill. I never liked Silent. I didn't hate it, but it was okay. I never, it'd be difficult to go back to. These aren't aging well. It just changed instantly, just whoosh.
That's it. That's it. I have Shattered Memories and I haven't played it yet. So, I hear good things.
Whoosh.
I hear good things. I'll give that a go.
John, pronounced John.
I don't know what chat you pasted that in, Rhett.
Oh.
It's not on Skype. I don't see it anywhere.
Oh no, it's on Twitter.
Okay.
There's like 4 things here.
Okay.
Now, of course, right now I'm only playing a character of someone that's annoyed by your Silent Hill opinions.
Of course.
That's
that's a good spelling of John.
It's
Yeah.
the only one I could basically. Because it doesn't give you a J to start with, so that really limited me.
Yeah, I'll put that up on screen here in a bit, just because it's funny when John's talking.
I don't like Silent Hill. Oh, Polly senpai, listen to me. I don't like Silent Hill either.
Wow. From
I think
the mention
maybe I'm the one that said what needed to be said for once.
God.
It just
It's
seems
funny
like
how-
wow, look at this like wellspring of, maybe those games aren't that great actually. Maybe we're kind of dumb for putting them on this pedestal this whole time.
Wow.
Holy shit.
It's amazing
You're the
watching.
tastemaker. People are just gonna follow you into this abyss.
Into this
Into hell.
abyss, into this abyss of good game opinions and good game playing.
The Pied Piper Polly. Come on, follow me, everyone. Let's go shoot on Silent Hill.
Hey, I don't hate Silent Hill 2. It's just a chore to play.
Oh, Polly, see. I don't
John, this literally started with you being like, oh, Polly's anime taste. I was like a fanboy for her anime page.
I know, I was in it, so I get it. I
And
get
now-
where you're all coming from.
The heel turn.
Yeah,
You actually changed the picture.
there we go.
I think the
Is
No
my
Fate
turn?
one might be more important to keep up, though.
Oh, it will be. It will be. I'm just sharing.
Just fucking flash it. No Fate, no Fate, no Fate.
John Thayer.
Yeah?
That is my Silent Hill 2. I don't think that we can call it a hot take anymore, given how many people in chat are actually agreeing with it. So, what are you bringing to the table? What else you got for us?
Well, obviously, I'm bringing the most important kind of story, something about a man suffering horribly because of his love for a woman. The most important and best kind of story.
No Fate.
I saw the Heaven Steel movie in theaters. It was really fun. I was surrounded. Can you just imagine being in a theater full, nothing but Type Moon nerds all around you. You're just
I
locked in a
pictured that
room.
theater specifically when the sex scene happens, and just
They were all
how
past that.
uncomfortable that must have been.
Oh, it was fine.
If
How
you were-
how grody is
Okay,
this sex
Polly.
scene?
Yeah. Rhett?
Polly's flashing it is really killing me.
Oh.
No, tell us about the Fate movie.
All right, I need to see it. There it is. The sex is really classy. It's like perfectly nice. I think it is.
No, it's not.
It's perfectly nice.
You said
It's
to me,
it's all
they're
rooted in the
keeping
characters.
the story just as trashy as it always was.
Yes, they're keeping it trashy in the meat. The presentation of it is like completely, like basically it's the same story, but instead of Nasu prose, it's like really classy Japanese, like quiet direction, like cinema direction. So it like feels classy, even though the story is still really trashy, which is perfect. It's like, oh, this is the best version of this story I could have possibly asked for. Like the whole first movie is like ridiculously slow, and just they keep the slow burn, miserable tortured slow burn pacing from the VN for the movies, which is just really nice. And then at the end of the second movie, it's like, all right, here's the awful thing happening after like 2 movies of build up. And it's just like, yes, this is what I wanted.
So do you know how long it's going to be for movie 3?
They both were like exactly 2 hours, so probably.
No, I mean like when is it going to come out? Because
spring 2020. They posted it at the end.
Oh, right. That's only a year away. I was like, I'm still in 2018. I was like, what do you mean it's 2 years away?
No, yeah, it's not that far.
That's
so I'm
still
excited.
a bit. And then in 2024, Girls in Panzer will be done.
There you go. So I think this is a perfectly good way of experiencing the story. Like I give it the seal of approval.
Okay.
The only if you see this instead of playing the VN, I think that's fine. The only crit I think I would have is that they basically the first movie had a very natural endpoint they could have gone with, and they don't. So the climax of the first movie is at the beginning of the second movie, and then the first movie has no payoff.
Weird.
But if you have both movies now, then you can just go into it and it's fine. And it means the second movie's really good, especially.
Ouch, that's a fun take in chat. Tiffany Grant was at a con that Beepner went to, and she hated working on Girls und Panzer.
Aw.
I wonder why.
So yeah, it's they're really good adaptations. I think that you saw the beginning of Unlimited Blade Works, which is the only thing they kind of need to know is like the whole beginning with Lancer and Archer and Saber getting summoned and all that is just in a montage, so they don't.
There's enough tellings of that original game that like there's 2 TV series and the movie for the first 2 arcs. It's like, okay, we get it. They got summoned.
And the best change they made was that they took the flashback to Sakura and Shiro's relationship and when it started, and then which is like halfway through the game, and they moved it to the beginning. So like a year and a half ago, it's like it starts back 1.5 years ago, and it's when they met and then how their relationship progressed, and then it goes into all the Fate stuff. So the first 20 minutes of the first movie is actually my favorite part because it's like,
the calm before the storm,
just complete slow burn, like.
Nary a worm in sight.
Nary a worm in sight, like Shinkai romance. Shinkai romance movie. And then things start getting gnarly.
Then Natsu shows up.
No.
So wait.
Yeah?
That's the movie where the first 20 minutes is nice and then nothing bad happens and cut?
No, that was the
other Fate movie you saw also has 20 minutes of Saber, or not Shiro and Sakura being sweet at the start, and then nothing bad happens.
Yep, and then nothing bad. happens.
You really watched a lot of Fate movies. You watched 3 in a row on 3 days.
All about centering around Sakura's suffering. It's pretty great.
That's amazing.
Yep. Yeah, they did a good job with it. They added a little bit of worm content, which I appreciated, because they didn't. The VN has like no CGs.
Okay, that's literally the part where Polly has taken her headphones off.
All right, whatever. I'm just living true to my ideal. I'm not going to be defensive. I'm just living my bliss here.
You are.
God.
3 in a row.
After the 4 seasons. So, anyway, it's very good, and I'm happy with it. And I'm happy with all of it. So whatever. Rhett, what have you been up to?
Oh wow. He just bailed. He's like,
no,
fuck it,
do you have
done.
anything you want to talk about?
John said
I have nothing I can contribute, and I'm not going to sit here and shit on it.
All right.
That would be a very mean thing to do. I may not like it, but I'm not gonna sit here and shit on it.
We've shit
There you
on
go.
it enough, basically.
That too.
I think
John
I'm
started
only.
feeling-
The only thing I was gonna do is if John was gonna say, "Oh, it's warm and sweet and lovely," I was gonna be like, "I'm gonna fucking have an aneurysm."
Yeah, they kept all the really the grossest moment probably in the VN was in the second. It was in the Lost Butterfly chunk, and it's the climax, and they keep it.
Cool.
It's all right there. Doesn't have anything to do with worms either. It's just awful.
Okay. It's just awful in the best
Yep.
ways. They're keeping the trash and classing it up.
No, yeah, the worm.
No,
worm
maybe.
stuff feels like kind of a small part of the.
Okay,
of-
good.
It's always felt like a small part. Like it's bigger in Fate Zero than it is in Heaven's Feel.
John Thayer thought bubble. Disappointingly small.
I mean, yes,
That
but,
worm was disappointingly small.
Yeah, the grossest shit is with Shinji, and he's all up in there. Her brother.
Oh,
That's a good choice of words
That-
to use.
that was some sentence.
Yep. Those are the words that just fell out of your mouth hole.
You said we should stop, and then we kept going, and then
Kept
that
going,
happened.
and then there's the brick wall. We're careening toward it. Nobody's pumping the brakes. John Thayer has his way. We have smashed through the brick wall and are all dead now.
It's a great story, and I love it.
Oh,
And it's a great romance. Also, that's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Nope, move on.
it's triggered Polly.
It's really
Whatever.
gonna make me angry now.
I'm probably extra combative because of the Silent Hill thing.
This is a Knives Out episode, isn't it?
John, I can't help it. Silent Hill's not good. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
John, flash forward to end of the year. John's like, my number 2 game of the year, Heaven's Feel. My number 1, Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill, game of the year, 3 years running.
Just the next 3 years out of spite. I guess.
My number 1 game was Super Mario Brothers 2.
That's Doki Doki Panic in Japan.
Yes. Okay, is it my turn now?
Yeah.
It can be.
I brought all this negative energy. And I feel
Okay, let's do something positive.
Just something
All right.
positive everybody can be happy about.
Something you've all been waiting for.
All right.
So my next entry, this was a game. I picked it up a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then fell off it
Oh,
for a while.
ouch.
And then I started thinking about it again, and I finally gave it a fair shot.
Why'd you start thinking about it again?
'Cause,
I mean, what triggered that?
So the game I'm talking about is called Snakebird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
And they really, it was the weirdest timing. I was thinking about this game, Snakebird, which is a puzzle game and extremely fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, like, literally the next day, they released a game called Snakebird Primer, which was just, hey, we made it way, way, way easier.
Oh, wow. Well, it seems to kind of like be the way they would have to go with it to kind of get opinions to
Yeah.
lighten up a bit on that game a little bit.
So it's like, Snakebird Primer is kind of doubling as like, hey, it's a version for kids because it's fucking easy. And it's also based on the name Snakebird Primer. It's like, hey, here's the tutorial levels the original game should have had, basically.
Whoops.
So I played through Snakebird Primer and got through it pretty quickly because it's very easy, but it teaches you some of the movement and mechanic tricks that you're just gotta know to do well in Snakebird.
Gots to know.
You got to know, and I think Primer probably does suffer from a lack of kind of medium difficulty levels because I played through all of it and then I went back to Snakebird and it was still immediately like, oh my god, this is still fucking fucked. But I kept at it for longer than I originally did, and I did end up clearing like 2/3 of the game, and then it just gets real fucking hard. And just these levels where I look at them and I know a lot of the tricks and I just have absolutely nowhere
So
to
explain the premise of Snakebird. What is
Okay.
it? Okay, this is a puzzle game, but what makes it a puzzle game? What have you got to do?
So the objective in every level is to get to the exit. And they mix it up where sometimes you have to eat all of the fruit in the level to open up the exit.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there's more than one Snakebird, you have to get all of them to the exit. And you move, you know that kind of the classic game Snake, where your tail kind of follows you behind you on, cardinal directions.
Yeah.
Classic game.
Yeah. So you move like that, except with gravity.
Oh.
So, yeah. So if you kind of overextend off a ledge and then try to turn around and your tail goes off the ledge, you'll just fall and die.
Oh.
And there's other tricks where, every time you eat a fruit, you get one segment longer.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll put them at, the end of dead ends so that once you eat that fruit, then you've trapped yourself and you've got to think of a way around it. And it's just having to deal with that snake style of movement with gravity on kind of a 2D playing field, and then some levels you'll have to deal with controlling 3 or 4. Well, yeah, in the original game it's only 3 at once, but those levels get real confusing because the trick will usually be that they won't all start at the same length.
Ooh.
So it's trivial to get the longer one up to the exit, but the shorter one has to, piggyback. And then what do you do when you've got these super narrow platforms and you're kind of using each other as platforms?
Yeah.
And it's a very difficult game.
Yeah.
And they start introducing stuff like portals where when you move into them in a certain way, he'll be teleported around.
God, it's a big brain game. Good God.
It's a big brain game, yeah.
I mean, it's making me think of English Country Tune and Stephen's Sausage Roll.
I've seen a lot of comparisons to Stephen's Sausage Roll in it.
I started Stephen's Sausage Roll 3 times, and every time, an hour in, I'm just I can't.
Yeah.
Every single one of these puzzles is impossible, and I have no idea what to do.
I think Snakebird gets to that level, honestly, even faster than an hour.
God.
Because it's got, a really, the first level is just, move to the right. Mm-hmm. And then the second level, intentionally tricks you so that you have to learn about the undo function. And then after that, it just kind of goes. And, even having played Primer and, having beaten a lot of it, there's one level super early on that just has such a mean trick that I just couldn't wrap my head around for ages until I finally looked and, they moved right instead of left at this one junction. And I don't understand why I didn't figure that out for, because it was one of the levels I played a couple of years ago that made me rage quit because it looks so simple. It's such a simple looking level. You just got to get the bird over the damn cliff. That's the thing about this game. It has such an adorable style.
Yeah, the style is adorable. I love it.
It's incredible looking, and that works for Primer, but the original game is so hard. It's so hard.
It sounds like this game was made by people that were too smart.
Yeah.
And they made it only for smart people. They weren't smart enough to dumb it down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can appreciate...
Yeah,
they knew what they were making, though. They were making this very hard puzzle game. Mm-hmm. And, one of the meanest things in the first game is that... So, in both games, actually, you have to complete the game. There are 6 cloud levels. Mm-hmm. So, those are the ones you have to kind of move to on the map and beat to unlock the last level. In the original game, you reach the first cloud level, it's star 1, as your 5th level, and it is so ridiculous. Mm. So playing through Primer and then playing through 2/3 of Snakebird and then going back to that level and finally being able to figure out how to beat it was so incredibly rewarding. Because it's you've got 3 birds and a gap of 20 spaces. It's you just look at it and go well, that's impossible. What the fuck? Mm-hmm. It's it's actually impossible. It's a level that just defies understanding the first time you see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rainiac is in chat. He's better at this than me. He has beaten all the areas and gotten to the last level, he says.
Damn.
And less time than I did. He's the big brain.
Oh, crap. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I play a game like this, I don't really think I wish that this was easier. It's more well, I'm not smart enough for this. I'll come back to it. I'll come back to this in 5 years. Maybe I'll be more Galaxy Brain then.
I think Primer is a good way of... I mean, it's kind of weird that they had to make a paid sequel that teaches you how to play the first game. But there's... So, the thing in Primer is that each level will have, one gimmick to it. Whereas a lot of the levels in the original Snakebird will have twists upon twists, where it's the 1-star level is you have to do this, then this, then this, then this. Where it's like you don't really have an indication, though, that you're ever on the right path. Because, so, yeah, it's a very difficult game. Steven Sausage Roll is still really intimidating, though, as well.
Oh,
like
it's terrifying.
Yeah, that one might be like the king of the hard puzzle games.
Yeah, I 100% at English Country Tune legit, and every time I even look at Steven Sausage Roll, I'm just terrified. I paid like $30 for it, and then I was still like, no, this is too much. No.
I think I watched a video about like where Steven Sausage Roll goes, and it gets it's a lot.
Oh god. All right. I mean, he worked on that game for like 5 years. Like it was the
I know people got so mad about the price though, because he was like, "I'm gonna sell this game for what it's worth."
Yeah, like that's a creator's right.
Yeah, but people got real mad because it has ugly graphics. Where Snakebird has extremely pretty graphics and is hard, and people got mad about that too, because it looks like a Baby Easy game. They wanted a game that makes them feel smart instead of a game that makes them feel stupid.
Oh, yeah.
So that's Snakebird. I'm never going to beat it because the levels I have left are just, I don't understand, and I don't think it's worthwhile to just look up answers.
No, because that doesn't teach you anything.
Yeah. But I got what I wanted from it, basically, after a couple years. So do you mind if I throw to one more thing?
Go for it.
Okay, so I kind of teased earlier with how Snakebird was a game I played from a few years ago and then came back to. So this next thing I'm going to talk about, it's a series that you're both familiar with. I know John was dealing with it last week, I think. I watched one of the newer Nanoha movies.
Oh, okay, cool.
I watched Nanoha the Movie 3, Reflection.
Oh.
So they did a remake of the first series as the first movie, and then a remake of the second series as the second movie, which was probably less essential because the second series was already good.
Yeah, that was totally fine.
Whereas the first movie is like, hey, cool, you fixed season 1.
And then I watched season 1 anyway.
Yeah.
But I started that before I realized y'all had watched it, so I didn't have the time to get the good take.
I mean, the movie's kind of weird because it rushes so much through the intro. Like, it basically cuts, like, the first 5 episodes, or at least, like, 2 through 5 or whatever, and just has Fate show up immediately. But then it expands the Fate backstory.
Oh, shit.
It's
the good part, yeah.
Yeah, the good part, I guess, if you want to call it that.
I guess child abuse is the good part.
Y'all make it sound like gross.
What isn't gross about child abuse, John Thayer? I would want to hear your opinion on child abuse that isn't gross. Please, enlighten us.
Just that I liked the relationship between Fate and Nanoha and how that arc progressed, and that was the good part of the story for me.
Yeah. I think that series is very
I didn't mean the whipping
scenes
scenes were the good part.
No.
God.
God. That series is totally aware that what it's showing is gross, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they remade the first 2 seasons of the show in movies. Then they looked at that 3rd season and went,
man, that thing's garbage.
Nah, actually, we're going to do our own thing. So the original 3rd season was like, and then 10 years later, they're space cops.
It's so bad.
And then they're adults now. And there's a billion fucking characters. So now the new 3rd movie is like, hey, what if it only takes place 2 years later and they're still little kids? And there's not the whole everything. Like, the 3rd season doesn't even take place on Earth. They're just space cops at that point.
Yeah, like, it just takes such a massive jump from what those first 2 shows were. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so the 3rd movie... story is kind of whatever. It's really just indulgent, well-animated action, and I had a very good time.
That's why I was going to watch Vivid Strike. I'd heard that it was just like a lot of fun martial arts action silliness.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because there's a part like... Oh, go ahead.
I've wound up really, really liking the first season, like where it went, just kind of emotionally. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I really want to watch more of this.
Yeah, Ace is good too.
Yep,
But
I'm
like,
really excited for Ace.
yeah, the Nanaha Fate story in the first one, maybe the high point.
Yeah,
Yeah, I buy that.
That's the high point.
The first half of that season is so rough, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, the turn. I was like, John, you can't drop this. Please trust me.
Okay. And I didn't, and it worked out.
Yeah, because you messaged me like right when Fate showed up, and you were like, I kind of hate this or something.
Jetstorm thinks the third series is fine.
I would say fine is like maybe the highest praise I would give it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the praise I'll give it. It's an anime.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just kind of there.
It's not kiddie grade.
Ugh.
There you go.
Ugh.
I made you remember that pile of vomit.
Rising up in my throat. Anyways, so like in the new movie, there's like a scene like 2/3 through the movie, they basically just stop the plot to have 3 big action scenes in a row.
Nice.
Where it's just, okay, it's Nanaha versus this character, and it's super indulgent laser spam. And then it's Fate versus this character, and it's just super indulgent melee combat. Mm-hmm. And then there's a third fight with, another character, and it's just like, yes, this is actually what we're here for. This, you guys knew exactly what to make.
The action scenes are still so good, huh?
The movies are so lovely.
I'll have to check those out then, because I like Nanoha, what I saw of it. So I like season like, 1 and 2.
I feel like after watching this, I do recognize now that this is kind of a guilty pleasure series. Like the characters are all just kind of overly pleasant, and nothing really bad happens. I mean, maybe there's the whole fate stuff, but yeah. I think
welcome to the Sockscast. We're the Sockscast that don't think anything's really bad about child abuse.
Okay,
oh my
that was
God.
Okay, she was a very bad character. Everybody else gets befriended by Nanaha.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, even in this movie, she's like, I'm going to befriend you with this giant fucking laser. Like,
which is the best way to befriend somebody, if we're being honest.
Actually, I will say one thing I just remembered. This movie's more violent than the series has been in the past, where, like
Ace is pretty violent.
Yeah, like, it escalates naturally from that, where, like, one of the characters just has, like, a sword gun as her main weapon.
Yeah!
And is just shooting people. Like, she shoots a character, like, kind of point blank in the stomach, and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, she punches Nanaha in the face.
Red, we gotta watch these movies.
It sounds pretty great.
I need to see this.
Okay.
I need to watch Ace, but yeah.
The thing about Ace is they introduce these weapons that, like, kind of act like guns, where they're, like, they've got these big magical rods, but they're kind of cocking them like shotguns.
Yeah, it's
and when they fire, like, it ejects cartridges that are, like, steaming because they're...
Yeah.
It's really cool. So this kind of...
Yeah.
This escalates that from that to just having, like, oh yeah, they've all got, like, magical guns now. They're just shooting each other.
Yeah!
So, movie's almost over. Nanaha's charging this big, huge fucking laser pointed at, like, all the bad guys. Cut to credits. It's a 2-parter.
Are you for real?
I was like, you motherfuckers. And then it says, the part 2, the 4th Nanaha movie, coming 2018.
Oh.
But the Blu-ray isn't out yet.
Oh.
So there's no way to watch it in English yet. And I was like, fuck! Because I was like,
a real bummer.
Because when I realized that they already made a 4th movie and I hadn't watched the 3rd yet, I was like, I gotta get on that. I gotta be caught up. And then now realizing it's a 2-parter, I was like, oops. Maybe should have actually waited in the end. Because I was like, yeah, the story isn't that deep, but what can they do in 2 hours?
Yeah.
And that's like, it's 2 movies. Shit. So now I have no idea where they're gonna go for the sequel.
Mid-laser, huh?
It really seemed like it could have wrapped up, like, pretty quickly, and it's like, the last 8 minutes of the movies are the credits, obviously, duh.
That's so good. So, that's real good.
Nanaha's pretty good, even though it's kind of indulgent trash.
Yeah, like, I think that it's, like, respectable indulgent trash, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun. Like, it's not, like, trash in the sense that we usually use, where it's, like, there's usually some kind of horny element.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Nanoha isn't horny, so...
I I feel like
go ahead.
what we consider horny isn't what John considers horny, so that word is kind of...
Like, I remember watching this and being a little bit scandalized, like, oh, they had, like, 2 panty flashes in the first season, in the whole season, and then I didn't know how dark it could get. So now I'm just like, oh, this is so innocent and nice.
Yeah, John has seen the light and the darkness to know that, oh, Nanaha is super pure and there's nothing bad about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the transformation scene in this one, though, they naked.
Oh, okay.
It'd be so much
That's always the trope. That's always the trope.
It would be so weird if they didn't show the underwear and then the underwear vanishing and then they showed the outfit come on. Like, if they just everything came off at once and it was shining, flashing lights, it would be fine.
Well, that's what Sailor Moon does.
Yeah. If they did like Sailor Moon, it would be fine. But then, nope. That's like the only thing, though.
That's a weird trope.
Whatever. You pointed out today to me, like, hey, this was a spin-off of an Eroge game.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty wild considering how nice it is, for the most part.
I don't know, there's a whole, like, extended universe of manga stuff that I'm not willing to say is nice. It's not horny.
Yeah,
because some of the art I've seen is pretty horny, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not willing to go there with characters that are literally 8 years old.
Yeah, no thank you.
So, I'm excited for that 4th movie now. I kind of wish I'd waited. But also, I had an opportunity to play this alone and, like, put the sound up real loud, like, shake the house loud from these laser blasts. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it.
That's excellent.
Yeah, that's
so
a way to enjoy that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I have so many anime movies that I legally acquired that I haven't watched. So maybe I'm going to plow through a few of those.
Nice.
Because, oh my god, I had the Steins Gate movie for like a long time, and I finally only watched it because of Phase Zero. I was like, I should probably get caught up. Because
The Steins Gate movie, what is that? That's the... like interstitial between Zero and the original, or is it just
no? It's after the original.
Oh,
it's a thing.
Interesting.
I would describe it as dreamlike because I saw it and then kind of forgot immediately what happened.
Oh,
Kurisu's the main character.
Mm-hmm. It's a good main character. She's a very good character.
Mm-hmm.
She has to save Okabe now because he has become unstuck in time. It's weird.
Oh, weird. Yeah, you do that when you travel back in time 2 days at a time for, 500,000 times. You might lose a little bit of your sanity doing that.
Yeah. A lot of anime movies, though, that are like based off TV series and just kind of the whole like, hey, here's a 90-minute side story that isn't consequential.
Good.
They're not very good usually. So like,
everybody's like Cowboy Bebop, the movie's real good, and I'm like, no, it's not. Everybody's like Trigun Badlands Rumble's real good. No, it's not.
Trigun was exactly the one I was thinking of. Like, that movie is just nothing.
Everybody's like, the Nadesco movie's good. No, wait, nobody ever said that. That movie's trash.
I've never seen any of that series.
Nadesco?
Yeah, I've never seen any of it.
You even have references to it in your old Flash movies, which is funny.
I know. I like the character design. That's about it.
Don't worry, Martian successor Nadesco doesn't hold up. Not good.
But it's Silent Hill too.
And I just pissed somebody off in chat.
Right as Taylor said, Nadesco's good.
I still own that thin pack as well.
Mm.
Oh no, Nanaha crossed with PSO2 recently. I've got to reinstall now.
Nades, no.
No, boom.
I need to dress up as Nanaha in PSO.
No, you don't, Rhett.
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody needs to play PSO2.
You're right. I need to dress up as Fate.
There you go.
She is the best character,
though. There's one Fate that's good.
The Fate in Nanoha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throwing it to Polly?
Yo!
Yeah.
I'll continue that trend of magical girls. I can do that. I can segu with the best of them. I'll do
Okay.
that. I'll do that right now.
Okay.
I played.
Okay, we're waiting for that Segu.
Yeah, I was waiting for one to come to mind too, and I just couldn't.
Segu.
Sega. There you go. Works totally. Boom. There it is. We'll fix it in post. Okay. So, I've had a game on Steam for. Let's see. I think I bought it during Christmas because I think Gesh just sent me a voucher or something. It was just like, here's Steam money. Buy something Toho. I was like, okay, yes sir, you got it.
Oh wait, yeah, you had to buy something Toho.
Yeah, that was his stipulation. You had to. I wonder if he would know if you didn't. That would hurt his feelings, I bet.
Uh-oh.
But I bought something Toho. So I bought something Toho. I bought Toho Luna Nights. This has been
This
in
looks so nice.
and this has been in early access since about August of last year. They were waiting to kind of finish the last couple of areas of the game before bringing it out, but I guess they needed some extra money to kind of get it across the finish line. And it's one of those like runny, jumpy, explory games. I'm not going to use the word that everybody else uses, but you know what it is.
It's a La Mulana-like.
It's a La Mulana-like, yeah.
That really rolls up the tongue.
It really rolls off the tongue, yeah, it really does. Just like when red ejaculates in your mouth.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And that's where you kind of kill the joke, because when you bring it back when it's not even relevant. That's how you script a podcast for anybody out there taking notes. Like when you finally beat the joke into the ground.
Yeah, that killed it.
Yeah, you kill it like that. You just bring it back when it doesn't even fit. Yeah, Toho Luna Nights is a really good one of those. It's just, hey, here's a nice, compact little world. It's not too big, not too small. It's real nice and cozy. You don't even need to use the map to get through it. Like, I barely checked my map at all while playing this game. It's very similar to my experiences with Momodora Reverie Under the Moon. You play as Sakuya Izuyoi, everybody's favorite knife-flinging maid. She's really cool, and she's a whole lot of fun to control. You get a shitload of really cool powers to play with. She can float. Floating's good. Magical girls do that, right?
Yep.
She throws lots of knives. Magical girls are known to do that, I'm sure. And they found really fun ways to work in her ability to manipulate time. Which,
That's a big one.
you think, like, man, you give a game something like that, it's going to make it real fucking easy. Because you can literally just stop time or slow it down, and they give you a lot of time to do that with. Like, you start out and you're able to have, like, I guess 30 seconds of completely stopped time.
30 seconds. That does really long.
It may be closer to 20, but yeah, like the timer at the top of the screen doesn't tick down very fast, so you can keep things paused for a while. They do kind of limit like how you can use your stop time though, because like if you throw daggers while you are in stop time, that takes so much more away, and you can't stay in a time stasis. So but when you throw daggers when the time is stopped, you can also jump on them. So you can use them as platforms and shit. Cool. So that's they work that in with a lot of how you have to get around and find various secrets and all of that. You get a lot of fun special moves that are very similar to some of her attacks in the games, and then there's an attack where she just throws a chainsaw because that's fun. She throws a chainsaw like the Castlevania axe, just a big arc, and then it latches.
My God.
And then it latches onto an enemy, and it's just it's continually doing damage. It's great.
That's very good.
Yeah, she's really fun to control. Like, and just the way that the stages are built around the time stopping mechanics. So like different objects that are different colors kind of react differently to whatever state the time is in. So like there are some objects that will continue moving if time is stopped. There are other objects that will only move if time is stopped, and they work a lot of the platforming around that kind of thing, and a lot of the obstacles like big blades, and there are certain attacks where it'll be like, oh hey, like this enemy fires out purple bullets, but if I stop time, I can reverse the trajectory of those bullets and only have to deal with the yellow bullets that are falling down. And then when you unfreeze time again, then you can dodge through the yellow bullets. So they do a lot of really fun, cool things with that. The boss fights are nice and meaty. They're super crunchy.
Good.
The last couple boss fights are just, they're fucking insane. They're really, really difficult. And then they really make you have to utilize everything that is in the character's arsenal. Unlike a lot of these games where they kind of just like forget part of the character's arsenal about 1/5 through. Yeah. It's really good. Like, it's hard to say much more about this game other than like, this is a really good one of these.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good one of those, exactly.
Like the sprite art is really, really smooth and pretty.
Yeah. I think the sprite art. Do you remember when they did a Konosuba fan game a couple of years ago? I think that guy is involved in this somehow.
Oh, yeah. I think that because I know that they also did a Shin Megami Tensei mock-up this too, and that's sort of where this engine spawned from. They kind of took that engine and then like, well, we're not going to make a Shin Megami Tensei fan game. We'll make a Toho fan game. Way more money in that.
Yeah, because Toho fan games, like, they're just all being sold now for money.
Yeah, you can.
Like, those floodgates have been open for a couple of years. Where they're just all over PS4 and Switch now.
Yeah, like, and that's a really cool thing. Like, I think a lot of people look at that scene and kind of wonder, like, well, why not just make your own original thing? Which, I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made there, but at the same time, if this guy is just like, hey, you can use my license under these conditions, and you're still respectful to the material, and if you have a genuine love of that material and want to make something that fits in that universe, that's a really cool fucking thing to be able to say, I have a Toho game out on Steam. That's really fucking cool.
I think that's really nice. Like, I think it might be generally more respect for fan type works is a good thing, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just weird to see though when like people who aren't super familiar with the series will just be like, oh, these are all Toho games. Like, they might not see the line between, oh, this is a fan game and like the official Zune ones.
And I think that Zune's way past caring about that.
I guess it's just kind of weird because they just announced 2 more of the official games are coming to Steam next month.
Yep. Cool. Two of the games that I don't really care about.
Yeah, I'm like, I understand as a creator that he almost certainly prefers the newer games because they're the newer games.
Yeah. But I would really
man, I wish they just started with Scarlet Devil and worked up from there.
Yeah, I would really love to see Imperishable Night get another shot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And Subterranean Animism. Like,
I think just the smartest thing would have been like to start with Scarlet Devil and like that would have hit so hard.
And the thing that could be is that like he's a drunk and he very well may just not have the source code anymore.
I mean, that's what they said, right? Was straight up that they lost the source code for the pre-Mountain of Faith games.
Yeah, I think that.
Really?
I
thought I heard that.
Yeah, I don't think the source code exists for those anymore. That would break my heart.
Oh, don't even. Yeah, I have all my games.
And yeah, Jetstorm, Strange Journey Syncrosity is what they. It's sort of that little sort of taste tester they put out before they started working on Luna Nights.
Did that get pulled down real soon?
I don't think it got pulled. I just think that they realized that there was no way they would be able to put that out and make money on it.
Yeah. I thought there was something like on the official Atlas site for like a month and then they pulled it. I might be crazy though.
But yeah, like Luna Nights is absolutely like I am absolutely kind of probably the one that's the most jaded on this genre. It takes a lot for me to really like one. In the last one that I really, really liked was Hollow Knight. So, like, so I'm here a year later saying I really, really like Toho Luna Nights a lot. Like, I think that's a pretty big endorsement,
that counts.
Right?
Yep. Cool. And it's just everyone, and Sakui is just great.
Yeah, like
it's a fun character to put some abilities to because his powers are really neat.
And as usual, like the dialogue, it's really fun. I
thought you were going to say nonsense.
No, it's not nonsense at all. Like Ramelia, like gets bored. She does that a lot.
She asks how many times you've eaten bread.
She gets bored and she's just like, "Hey, Sakuya, you're going to entertain me. I made this world out of these crystals that I found, and you're gonna go play in that world, and I took all your powers away. Have fun, entertain me." And then like you run into Notori, who is kind of like your shopkeeper throughout the game, and she ends up being just hilarious. Like she's got a big frog robot she flies around in. and just kind of shows up at random. It's like, hey, how's it going? I'm still in this story. And it's got and it's a game that's got, like, I didn't expect there to be a fun plot twist in this game, and there absolutely is one, and I was just like, I'm here for it. This game's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to check this out at some point.
Yeah, Toho Luna Nights. Like, if you like games like Momodora, Reverie Under the Moonlight, you're absolutely going to like this. It's got that same kind of vibe. Like, it's nice. It's big enough that, hey, there's, like, a lot to explore, but it's not so big that, like, there are just useless rooms everywhere. Like, every room is kind of its own little traversal puzzle to try and not get damaged and to get through and to use your powers and shit. It's just a really solid top to bottom. There's not a lot I would complain about it with, you know? It's just like,
it does sound like it really fits in that Momodora 4 kind of niche.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the style of this sort of game I'm excited about, because, like, I don't really expect there to play another, like, massive 30-hour game. One of these games is as good as Hollow Knight, but I can definitely see like once a year or whatnot, just sitting down with a nice 4-hour, 5-hour one.
Like I 100% of this one willingly on my own, and it only took like 10 hours.
Okay.
And that was finding everything. It was even a mechanic that was there that I didn't realize was a thing until I accidentally did it. And it was like, and it doesn't even unlock anything. I was just like, and now I'm going to go do it. Because I have enough fun moving around and playing as this character because it feels good.
Cool.
So would you say it's a little bit bigger than Momodora 4?
I think they're really comparable, size-wise.
Cool.
Cool.
But yeah. Toho, Luna Nights, go play it if you get the chance. It's really not that expensive. It's not that bad of an investment. Like, I think you'll definitely have enough fun to warrant the price without having to wait on it for a sale or anything.
Cool. But if you haven't, also play Hollow Knight.
Yeah, but if you haven't, also play Hollow Knight, because Hollow Knight is real effing good.
Just a bit more of an investment, it sounds like.
And like with the sequel coming out sometime, we don't know when, and the sequel's going to star our girl Hornet. It's so good.
Yep.
John is very horny for playing as Hornet.
I am too, and I hate bees.
It's true.
Because bees can kill me.
But her mom's a spider.
Her mom is a spider, but she's a
It's
hornet.
very weird for.
What a very weird family tree they have.
Hornet on Maine.
Hornet on Maine! There you go. Beepner, saving the podcast again. Why didn't we just have him on? So yeah, that's my recommendation for this episode. Don't play Silent Hill. Play Toho Luna Nights instead.
That's pretty. I can vibe with that.
John!
Yeah?
What else have you been up to?
Mostly just by playing a shit ton of Ys 8.
Oh, hey, that's good.
Nice.
That's a good video game.
Yep. It's real good. Like, it also feels kind of like that genre which will not be named.
Yeah.
A lot more so than like E6, because it has this big old map, and you can fill it in, and you can have collectible stuff like marked on the map. So it feels more familiar to a lot of like contemporary design, that kind of like indie games mainly. But like, it's smart about it in how dense it is, because it's not overwhelming where there's just so much stuff that you don't feel like it's worth doing anything.
Yeah, like when you look, like when I first saw Ys 8's map and how it was playing itself and how it was putting icons everywhere, I was worried at first. But it's a game that kind of just funnels you through that world in a natural way where you don't really feel like you're doing busy work of going back and filling in blocks or ticking off boxes or anything, because they kind of always tie it together in some seamless way that feels natural, that like I was going to go explore that anyway.
Everything feels tied to the scenario of, being stranded on a desert island in really organic ways.
Yeah.
And they're constantly doling out like character beats and little bits of story, without like feeling like it's interrupting the play either, but just that it doesn't just feel like you're filling in a map. It feels like you're experiencing this story in this world. And all
you're
the
uncovering. Yeah, like this world is fascinating. Like it's got its own.
It's really interesting.
It's got its own intrigue to it. So it is fun to, like, anytime you end up being able to get into a new area, you're getting closer and closer to these things you can see off in the distance. And like that mystery is getting closer and closer, and it just keeps building to those moments.
Yep. So I'm like, I just got over the mountain. So I'm
nice.
Halfway, I think. Just based on they give a big percentage, like this is how much of the whole game you filled in.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I kind of hate that stuff, but
I don't really like it that much for the most part in other things, but like just the way this game plays itself.
Like you're charting the island basically. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense. Like it makes sense that you would be kind of filling in this map as you go. Like you don't just go into an area and then boom, there's the map. You're filling it in as you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's tied into the story. It's tied. You're looking for castaways. That's why you're exploring. You're trying to help solve the mystery so you can get off the island. So it all feels very like thoughtful. Just like the main Falcom adjective, I think for me is just considered. Yeah, everything just feels very thought out and together. There's not really like stray systems, stray ideas, stray characters that don't really add anything. So even though like part of me sort of prefers like the E6, it's a smaller map, but you don't have any details on the map, so you have to keep it all in your head. And then like if there are any treasure chests, it's always going to be something really important, as opposed to it's some crafting stuff. But like I mentioned this earlier to you, that was like I still have 2 more of those games in the E6 style to play, so it's like okay, I've got plenty of that, so I can also enjoy this instead because this isn't worse, it's just different. Yeah. Like these are 2 complementary styles of ease.
There's also
deeply enjoying both of them.
You've got Oath and Zero in the E6 style, and then you've got 7 and Celceta in the 7 style.
Yep.
It's like there's a lot of these games.
So you've got a lot of that East that you really enjoy. That it's there, so it's like this isn't going to really color those expectations. Like this is just something like this is the evolution of where those games have led, and like having played those games before 8, like 8 is just like this huge kind of like this is a dramatic, huge realization of everything it feels like they've been building to for years.
Because it feels like the scenario is just so much kind of richer and deeper than they could do in the older games because they were much shorter. Like I'm 15 hours in and I'm about halfway through, as opposed to 10 hours being I finished the game.
So 7 is pretty long. 7 is like at least twice as long as 6.
7 took me like 25 hours or so.
So they got longer. So they've been changing it up, and I'm excited to sample like each era.
John is absolutely not committing to beating these games.
No, I'm excited to enjoy.
He's looking to go balls deep into this series.
Like Rhett in people's mouths.
Yeah. He wants to put just a tip into each one of them.
How about that combat, John?
It feels great, huh?
Man! It's like...
you have a parry system. It feels great.
Yeah.
I love parrying enemy. I love watching enemy animations, and then if I tap the parry button in the right part of the animation, then I'm invincible and I can attack them a bunch.
And you get rewarded with a really nice, cool slow down effect and sound effect when it happens. You get critical damage guaranteed every time you do it. And then you can do a dodge roll immediately afterward, and you get a double bonus. So it's just like, man, it's so good. Doing a flash move and a flash and a flash guard, within frames of one another, feels so good.
Yeah, it feels better than Breath of the Wild did for me because it's not as laborious about it. Where Breath of the Wild, it just goes on so long. I think. Of the slashing afterwards, so this feels a little bit tighter and more fun, and you have more choices of what you can do after you're initiating the flash guard.
Yeah, you could just immediately switch to another character if you want. And just go absolute crazy. Is there any character that you have more fun playing with than others, or do you think that they're all good? Because I felt like everybody was great, and Donna is fantastic.
I've only played a little bit of Donna just because of how the
nature of how she
works.
gets worked in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh my god, she is so fun.
Yeah, I really feel that. I probably like Laxia. Is it Laxia?
Laxia, yeah.
Laxia.
She's real good. There's
she
pokes.
feels nice. She has the rapier. She just pokes very fast.
Yeah.
And it's like she has her skill where she just charge tackles through enemies. And it feels
it's
nice.
really good.
My favorite skill is the one where she just stabs into an enemy. There's a pause, and then they just explode. It's like the super move in King of Fighters.
Yeah.
Where Leona like runs up and then like sayonara.
Yeah, it's that good. And even though it's like a pause in the action, they still make it feel good and smooth. Like it doesn't kill the pace or anything. And I think that's the thing. Like East 8's strength is its pace. It's so well paced.
Mm-hmm. Like it's a delicate balance because they have all the. If they just let you walk around the island constantly, I think it would get a little boring.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just like a space to explore and a map to fill in, but if they also overloaded you with cutscenes and character beats, it would start to get in the way of the fun. Bit. Yeah. So like it's always like I'm always excited to get into a cutscene and I'm always excited to get back to the map. Yeah. Like that's just A+. They're really nailing it there.
Yeah.
I love gating based on how many castaways you've rescued. Like that's just really cute.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna need like 25 people to move this boulder. That makes sense.
Yep. This is the one Rhett hasn't played, right?
Yeah, Rhett hasn't played this one, but I have a suspicion that when he does, I think that he's going to come away from it the same way. Like that game just feels.
It sounds very good.
Yeah, it's just good.
I've committed to playing them in order.
Yeah.
Which means I played 6. I played Oath 1, 2, fell off 0. That's the only one I don't think I'll finish. I played 6, 7, and I want to play Celceta next because that's the 7 riff.
Yep.
But I know Polly fell off that one too.
I just can't. Like I tried so hard to like Celceta, and I just don't.
I'm still gonna try. Like John, I'm gonna sample.
Yeah.
But I bought it on Steam like when it came out. And it's like I gotta fucking at least try.
Yeah.
Because I think you playing it after 8, it's like one of those you can't go back
That's
moments.
Probably what did it for me. I think is that I've played and experienced how majestic this series can be now, and Celceta doesn't feel good to me, but which is weird because I still like East 7.
I think
like in about 6 hours, like Celceta said I had seen 60% of its map.
Yeah, it's short.
Yeah,
is what Jetstorm says.
Oh, well, that's kind of nice. The thing, I think if I'm going to do it, I'm not going to go straight to like 7. I'm going to go back and do Oath and try Origin, and then I can get into 7 with a little more distance.
Yeah,
Oath is real good. That game saved that series in the West.
Yeah, I mean, Oath was the first one I played. It was just way back in the day, like 2010 or something when it came out. But I only played like 6 hours, so I mean that's half the game. But
well, that was the first one on Steam, right?
Oath was the one
back on the map.
Yeah, Oath was the one that literally kind of made me set up and take notice of the series again.
Yeah, I remember. It's been funny watching the transition because I remember the narrative at the time was like, oh, these games are like really dry, boring stories, but the action's good. And now it's kind of morphed over time into like, oh wait, these are really good.
Yeah.
Just kind of across the board. It's just a little hard to notice.
Yeah.
Like I saw a forum thread the other day just titled, "Why did no one tell me Ys 8 is the best action RPG ever?"
I think when you play it, I think that you will agree that like if somebody believes that, like that's a pretty good assessment because that game really is freaking like I've not played an action RPG that feels that good.
Nice.
I played one.
yeah, we know.
Okay. The Perry and Luca feels really good.
I'm gonna get to that.
Feels real good.
I'm sitting here. Speaking of knives, though.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here listening to John be like, I love parries in games. I'm sitting here like, you didn't like Breath of the Wilds.
But I completely wrecked the parries in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Like I learned them at the beginning of the game, and then every fight after that was easy because I knew how the parries worked, and they assumed you didn't. I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
They
when you learn how
slow down time so much when you get them.
When you learn how the parry system works in Dust and Elysian Tale, like that game becomes a
Oh,
cakewalk.
yeah.
Mhm.
That game's already a cakewalk.
Yeah, that game's already. You have to turn that game on hardcore in order to be sufficiently, like even slightly challenged.
Yeah. I mean, Ys 8 is also kind of a little bit easy, and I'm playing it on hard
Yeah,
to begin
like
with.
it's a good starting difficulty. For that game.
I'm excited to revisit this. Like, I'm trying to beat the bosses without like sometimes I've beaten about half of them without using healing items, and the other so like, all right, another time.
Like with that game, like I always put myself on an honor system of like I used an item, I'm not allowed to use another for 30 seconds or something like that if I have to use one or something. You know, I would always
You gotta do something like that
because you can easily just load up on items. You can craft a whole bunch of potions and then go into a boss fight and kind of face roll through it if you have to.
Yeah. But you don't want to because like it's fun to learn the patterns. The chapter 3 end boss, I learned that one and did it with no items, and it felt so good.
Oh, that's a real good one too.
It's a real good fight.
Yeah, like that fight is one of those I've seen it on Nightmare and was like, oh my god, how is that possible?
Mm-hmm. Nightmare's the next one up from. Is Nightmare the next one up from hard?
Nightmare, Inferno, then Infinity Inferno.
So there's
Jesus Christ, those names.
Infinity Inferno.
Yeah, Infinity Inferno is like a whole new thing, though. It's like a new game plus, but they've scaled everything up to meet the level you should be at a new game plus.
Oh my god.
So it's way fucking hard.
What is the difference in Nightmare, and then what's the difference in Inferno?
I'm pretty sure it's just stats.
Okay.
So Nightmare.
I'd be interested if there's one where they just lock items on boss fights or stuff like that, just to match the oldies games.
Tokyo Xanadu has a smart system with items where it's just like if you use an item, you're just straight up not allowed to use one for a while. That's really smart.
Nice,
I hope that East 9 takes that cue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like the one kind of rub is like, oh, okay, I can kind of steamroll all these fights if I didn't want to engage with them. So, but yeah, it's because I do. It's fun to learn all the patterns and whatnot. The boss at the top of the mountain is great.
Oh yes.
It's so funny because that boss just starts off the fight pelting fireballs at you. So I for the second round, I just stood there and flash guarded every single one of them. And I did that like 10 times in a row, and then I realized it's not going to stop until I walk up to it. Then I walked up, and then it started the next phase.
Speedrunners hate that boss because it's RNG of whether he'll do that attack or not.
Ys 8 makes bottles consumable on higher difficulties, right?
I don't think so.
That's interesting.
No, I think you always keep bottles.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like it'd be challenging.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about where the story goes.
I think you'll like it. It's a really sweet story.
Stuff.
When you see the Donna stuff make its final collision with everything, it's going to be like you'll have that moment I had, and it'll be like, oh, everything means something.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, and they also did a thing at the end of Chapter 3 where they just sort of raised the stakes in a way that was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this game's got some gumption.
Nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. There was a move I didn't think that they would take, and then they took it.
Yup. Hey, Rhett, Ys 8 is good.
Yeah, you should play that game, Rhett.
I'm working on it.
You're...
I'm working on my Falcom backlog.
Yeah.
Are you now?
Like, no rush, Rhett. Wait, what do you mean, Rhett? What have you been up to?
Okay, so for my last one, it's a game that I played a couple years ago and bounced off of.
Uh-huh.
And it's also a series you're both familiar with.
Oh, really?
And something I finished last night.
Oh, yeah.
Because you guys literally watched me beat this game.
For 2 hours.
It was far longer than 2 hours.
It was 3.5 hours.
The last boss itself was like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was 3.5 hours of fun.
The whole thing, yeah.
Yep.
So, I have beaten Trails in the Sky, first chapter.
Nice!
Excellent.
How'd you come away from that, Rhett?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good?
I'm being 100% honest, I'm not like super, super gaga in love with it, but it's like, this is a very good game.
I'm not. I wasn't expecting you
Yeah.
to be super gaga in love with it.
Okay.
No,
the first chapter.
I was expecting you to like it.
Okay.
I mean, that's
I really
where I was
liked
coming
it.
off of it. I was like, yeah, I like that a lot. This went further than I expected it to. It like felt more like they did more of an actual climax than I expected it to.
That was my whole reaction where like the last like 6 hours of that game, I kept waiting for a shoe to drop. And then it just doesn't until the very, very end.
Like last 10 minutes.
Yeah. And it goes way more JRPG than I expected at the end, and then it wraps itself up really well, and then it finally drops the shoe, and there's your sequel tease.
Yeah, that's a that's a real mean sequel tease.
It's a sequel tease for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that fucking last boss though.
The last boss was an adventure. So let's talk about the last boss adventure, Rhett.
So, how much HP does it have? Like 20,000?
Yeah, it's about 20,000.
So, I fight the last boss, and then I fight the last boss, and then I fight the last boss.
Yeah.
And I get him down to like 2,000 HP. So, like 90% of the way there. And Polly's like, I'll be right back. Yeah, I gotta take this call. So the way the combat in this works is that there's no unpredictability or randomness, where you've got your little icons for the turn order, similar to like the Neptunia games, where when you cast a spell, it shows you exactly like where it'll come out and where that character now lands in the turn order. Mm-hmm. And things like crits and like strength up bonuses will show up on this turn order. So, and the other thing is that you have these moves that can jump the turn order. So you can kind of jump in there and steal a crit if you want.
Yeah, you can steal turn
bonuses. Which is real important. So I see the final boss is about to get a turn, and the turn after it is a crit. The boss gets on that turn, starts casting a spell, which then goes into the turn order as the next turn and lands on the crit. He does a spell called Annihilation that hits everybody, and because it was a crit, and I think everybody was still on full health. Like, I was doing good.
Like, if this would have been a normal turn and not a crit turn, 3 out of 4 characters may have survived.
Yeah, because that happened earlier in the
fight. It happened
fight.
earlier in the fight, and the most it had done was like...
It was like 2,100, I think.
Yeah, but everybody else... No, it was about 1,400 to 1,700 apiece.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody had about 2,100 HP. So 3 characters lived out of 4, and it was fine. I healed up, got everybody up. So I see that this is crit, and it does 2,800 damage to everybody. Everybody's dead instantly.
Fucking wipe.
Restart the fight. Play sloppy. Die pretty quickly. Restart the fight. Play more measured. Get to the last form again, or the last phase, and something goes wrong. That one, I don't remember what happened. It just went wrong so quickly.
Yeah, like the last attempt where you finally eke out the victory.
No, the third one.
Or wait, was it the third one where it just kind of like went down the toilet at the end?
Like all of a sudden, 3 characters got hit by a laser or something.
Yeah, I think you forgot.
Dead.
You didn't earthwall when I told you to.
I didn't earthwall until the final round.
Not listening to Polly. And John, I was there too. Like,
the music was very loud. I wasn't super paying attention to you guys back.
And it's a good thing, too, because John Thayer, big dumbass over here, yells out a big old spoiler just right in the middle. A big old spoiler that relates to the end of the game, and Rhett, thank the good Lord, doesn't fucking hear it.
Oh, I immediately said that and was like, oh shit! Oh no!
You fucked up. I
fucked up.
I don't think I would have realized it was a spoiler.
And I had to no-sell the fuck out of it just to be on the safe side.
I was fighting that boss. I really wasn't paying attention.
But it was just like, my point of view was, I heard John say this, and I'm just like, oh, you dumb motherfucker.
John was trying to get me back for me no-selling him on a V3 thing in Danganronpa. So anyways, 4th attempt on this boss. I'm playing defensive as fuck.
Yup.
I get through the first phase, and then I figure out a strategy where one character is just standing next to the boss, spamming melee attacks, just inching him down. it's only one character attacking, basically.
Yeah.
And then Estelle's in the back casting Earth Wall, which will block the next hit.
It's just keeping people alive is her job.
Because this boss does so many big, huge attacks, blocking one attack is suddenly extremely useful. Whereas a lot of other bosses, if they're whittling you down, blocking any individual one attack isn't that important. So I've got one character doing that. One character is like from a distance casting that on the character up front. And then the fourth character in the back is just the healer. Like if anybody actually gets hit. So it's like 3 support and 1 attacker.
Yep.
And it's going really well.
Really well.
And then,
completely smooth.
And then something happens and the attacker dies. So I've got to move a character up so they can revive. So that, like, my defensive wall all has to move up.
Yep.
And we kind of get all a little bit mixed. I think there was an AoE that like pushed us a bit, so we start to lose the plot.
Yeah, you got pushed back.
Yeah, like we moved up and then got pushed back, so they weren't in the right positions. And then something happened, like an attack hit on the wrong moment, and nobody had the earth wall up, and all of a sudden, within like 2 turns,
you're down to 1 character.
3 characters die, and the final boss has 100 HP out of 20,000. But I get a character up, and she can cast a spell, and it says that spell is going to land before the boss gets his next turn. And Polly's in my ear yelling, "You should probably revive somebody." And I'm like, I'm going to fucking go for it. And I went, and the spell did 500 damage, and I won, and it was fine.
It was fine, but it was just like I didn't see. I wasn't paying full attention to the turn order, so I didn't see that she was getting that spell the next turn.
No, I knew. Yeah, that's the thing. You know she's getting it the next turn.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that because like the feed was kind of janky because we were doing it on screen share. So, but yeah, it was the funny thing about this final boss is I didn't have a problem with it. I don't think
I almost didn't. I was so close to doing it the first time.
And then it just went to shit out of nowhere.
He got that crit at a real bad moment. Because he has one attack that just, like, no matter what, one hits a character.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter if that crits, because it's already going to kill one character. This was on a crit, on an attack that kills everybody. In all directions. Annihilation. The entire battlefield just becomes fucking flames.
Yeah, it can't be impeded. You can't stop this from happening.
You can't stop it. If I had a character with an S-craft ready, I might have been able to sneak in there if I was super quick. But I don't think I had one ready, and it just happened so quick, and I just like, oh, what?
Yeah, it does the charge. It says it's preparing attack, and then it immediately gets that next turn.
Yeah. So it's like if I had done a spell to push it down onto the crit, then the attack would have come out after the crit. That's what was crazy.
Yeah. It was real fucked.
So I was super careful about not letting that happen again. That's why I was keeping this, trying to hold on to those S-crafts, Earth Walls, and just hold on to an S-craft in case I need an emergency push.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But very dramatic final boss.
Yeah, it was as dramatic as I feel it needed to be because, like, I had no problems with that final boss at all.
Yeah, like after the optional fight a little bit before that, I was like, okay.
I was real close to doing this on the first time.
Yeah, he was. He just got that real shit luck.
Because when I got that shit luck, and it was like, okay, like, that doesn't count. We'll just do this again. And then I died again. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Because
it's falling apart because you're in full tilt mode.
I kind of tilted on those second and third ones. Actually, that third one went so hard as well. I don't know what happened.
You got so close. God, that was so funny.
Had that moment in the third one where it's just like there's one character running around trying to revive anybody, and it's just not working out for you.
I think that was the second one because it was one character.
It happened early.
Yeah, that was the second
one. The second one fell apart early on, and then you just kind of kept with it, and then the third one fell apart late. It was tragic.
Yeah, I think it was third form again or third phase again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like fucking. You got to be kidding me! Because if that fourth one had ended with defeat again, I might have just been like, guys, I'm doing this later.
Yeah, I would have understood that.
If I died with it at 100 HP. Oh, you know why I wouldn't have stopped? Because then you'd have to do the whole thing.
Yeah, you have to do everything because there's no saves between any of those fights.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the whole, like, do you want to easier mode turned off?
Yeah.
I was doing it.
Retry offsets for babies.
Yep.
Yeah. Just the story, please.
Just the story, please.
God, the fights are so good, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's got pretty good by the end.
The fights, like, they basically pick up where that game leaves off.
Yeah, I've heard second chapter is way harder.
Oh, God, that game. Woo! It puts some doozies on you, let me tell you.
That's why I'm not playing them on the harder difficulties. Because I read that the harder difficulties are just like, oh, yeah, like, it's just multipliers, basically.
Yeah, it's just multipliers. I've watched some people play them, and it's like, yeah, like, it does involve, like, extra planning and extra strategy, but it's still a numbers game, and the numbers are way out of your favor.
Great.
Like, I enjoyed all three of those games on normal difficulty, and I played Cold Steel. I played Cold Steel 1 on normal, and it was kind of boring. Mm-hmm. And then I played Cold Steel 2 on hard, and it was a way more enjoyable experience. So, yeah. Cold Steel, I would say I play on hard.
What about Crossbell?
Crossbell I played on normal, and it was very difficult.
Oh. Weird.
So, yeah. Crossbow games do not fuck around. Like, they're just like
they over... Yeah.
Like, you know these games, you know how they work. We are not pulling punches.
Yeah. Sounds like maybe they wanted Cold Steel to be more accessible to jump in some ways.
It's immediately a more appealing game, given that it's got higher graphical fidelity. Like they clearly wanted that game to kind of pull more people in. So, yeah, I get it.
It makes sense.
It's the same. It's the same reason that like Ys and Tokyo Xanadu are both very like their normal mode is very easy and unrewarding.
Yeah,
it sounds like they overcorrected a bit.
Perhaps, but like they're basically Falcom hard is normal now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was like Falcom hard is hard now instead of normal.
Well,
wait, yeah, Falcom normal is hard.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
I think we worded up our mixed.
Yeah, we worded up our mixed.
Yeah. So I put second chapter on my wish list a couple days ago, and I was like, okay, I'll get to this when it's on sale. And then like an hour before I beat this game, it went on sale.
That's perfect timing.
I was like, that's fate.
Yep. That's the only fate.
Yeah, I actually meant to buy it earlier. I wanted to grab a Steam gift card.
Cool.
I might literally go to Walmart right now to get a gift card in.
Yeah, I don't know when that sale ends. Might be tomorrow.
No, it looked like a week-long sale, so I'm not like pushed. But I literally meant to do that earlier.
Can you not buy online?
I mean, listen, I got cash money, and I literally don't do anything with it. I was like, oh, I can turn this $20 into 20 Steam dollars. I got money, and it's like I haven't used physical cash in like a year.
You have actual cash. You're like,
yeah. I was like, what can I do with the $20 bill? Oh, I could buy a Steam gift card.
There you go.
There you go.
That's taking money and making it something useful.
Cool.
So I will definitely get the second chapter before the end of the year. I don't know about third yet. It depends how I feel.
We need to keep it staggered. So I'll have the top. And then
I think it would be real funny if I got to third before you.
That would be real hilarious.
That would be pretty funny.
I don't think
stagger it.
I don't think there's any problem with a break between 1 and 2 either, because like the beat that you ended on. When you start SC, it's going to all wash over you again. Don't worry.
Yeah, I started second chapter like 6 months later, and it was fresh.
Yeah,
it still felt fresh. The wounds.
I don't feel like burned out though, which is surprising. I kind of thought I'd be like, okay, I'm good now. Mm-hmm. I don't feel good right now. It's like in a lot of ways that can be interpreted.
I get you.
Cool.
Because now, I almost said something real stupid.
Oh, don't
do that.
Don't do that, Rhett. We don't say stupid things on this podcast ever.
SE is definitely longer, like significantly longer. So that's just something to keep in mind. When
stupid as in massive spoiler.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay.
I can't live beep you. We're not on a tape delay.
Yeah, I think my FC time was like 40 hours, and then SE was close to around 60.
Yeah,
so
it's a little more beefy.
Mm-hmm.
My FC time is super long because, one, I played the prologue twice. And then two, because I like to tab away from games a lot. So
and you engaged with a lot of the side content too. So.
I did every side quest I could. I think I missed 2 overall.
So if you if you're doing that in SC, like you're gonna be living in Liberal for a while.
Yep.
Okay, so I was kind of disappointed. There's like none in the last chapter in this one. There's like 2 monsters to report that you killed.
Yeah, I like those sewer dungeons though. They were like they're just like big mazes that kind of keep in your head.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this is a fun like gimmicky side thing, and then they force you to go through one of them.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh,
well, there's good stuff down there though.
That map was so confusing to read to figure out where you start.
Oh god, yeah.
So I didn't figure out where the fuck I was on that thing until I found the thing you're looking for.
I just wrote the map out on paper when I was going through it because I was like, fuck it, I can't keep track of this. So I just like draw like vague shapes that resemble the room I'm in and then what my exit was, and that's how I mapped out the sewers.
Cool.
Because they let you look at that weird map they give you by pressing, whatever button you have map on. But like they're like, okay, go to this point, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna walk around mashing X, and then until I find it, and that actually worked.
That'll work.
And then once I was there, I was like, oh, now I know where I am on this map. Jesus! So I got through the rest super easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the last thing is a nightmare maze.
It's a nightmare maze, but it's manageable because it's full of a lot of dead ends, and like the path you need to go is pretty obvious.
There are bottlenecks where it's like, okay,
and they very intentionally want you to go in those areas because you basically get all of each character's best weapon in there anyway. So
speaking of that, you know why that final boss was so hard for me? I didn't get Joshua's final weapon.
Oh.
But I kind of did it on purpose. I'm like, okay, let's go anyways.
Oh wow, yeah. Like having his final weapon there would have probably given you a couple extra 100 points of damage would have helped.
Because if he did like 200 more on his S-Craft, that would have made a big difference. Because I had him geared for all attack, but then Estelle got her final weapon, so she was stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't have the good S-Craft.
Nope. No, she doesn't have that one. That one's a real good one.
It's game break. It's not game breaking, but it becomes reliant.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's kind of like a really good option if you want to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's really funny on the boost mode when it's just like super, super quick. Like, hit everybody.
Everything's gone. It disappeared very quickly.
It's ridiculous when you get into some fights and it's just like, oh, here's the win button. Oh, 8 enemies dead.
Go into every chest fight with 200 CP.
See, I didn't know it had to be 200.
Yeah, it's gotta be 200.
That really would have changed my tactics.
Yeah.
So I would just pop it off at like 143 and be like, oh, I'm getting 43 whatever more damage.
See, like, I rarely ever had the opportunity to use 200s, though, because I use my crafts. I use them a lot.
Yep. Yeah, I was using the regular crafts all the time.
More in that last fight than I did in the entire rest of the game.
That's
combined.
Crazy. That's so crazy.
I literally hadn't looked at one of the characters' crafts.
I know, like, one of them was just like, wow, I was missing out on that ability for a while. That would have been useful.
Well, I didn't know about the heal until the last dungeon. I didn't know about the other characters, like, period, until the last fight.
Yeah, man. If a craft's got an impede on it, like, it's guaranteed impede.
I don't think it was working on that final boss.
Well, craft can't be impeded. Arts can.
Oh. Okay.
Wait, that's why it's got a C and then an A. They like whatever the character's casting. If it's a C, it's a craft, and you can't impede it.
Oh. So Annihilation would be a craft.
Yeah, you can't impede that. You can't impede Annihilation.
Yeah, okay, that's why it wasn't working.
Yeah.
This game has systems that me and John still don't fully understand.
Oh my god.
It's all hot.
It's a lot.
You'll get it. They push them to their limit.
Yeah. Like, third especially pushes that game to its limits. Like,
so
I'm excited about that. Normal. I'm excited for more hard bosses.
Oh, you'll get them. I got lots of them.
So is that a podcast?
That sounds like that is a podcast to me. I want to thank everybody for coming out, spending their Sunday evening, afternoon with us. Y'all have been lovely as always. Thank you, Tinker Gemini, for the bits. They're always appreciated. You are a lovely human being. John Thayer, where can our fellow netizens find you?
Farawaytimes.itch.io.
And Rhett, where can our good pals find you?
Inconsequentialexistence.com.
Still not updated.
Not updated.
Yay!
Still don't feel like doing that this week.
Yeah, you deserve some time off. You've been working hard. And you can find me on my dumb website. You know where it's at. Remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. Stick around. I'm going to kick you all over to my good pal, After 5. He is streaming Tokyo Mirage Sessions. He's been enjoying himself that nice little game for a while. So we will bid you all a fond farewell and hope you have a nice rest of your evening. Later, y'all.
Ciao.